What's going on, fam? Who's all in the building? Who's all in the building? I'm doing a audio test right now. All right, so guys, let me know if the audio is good to go here. All right, let me know if the audio is good to go here. All right, let's see who I got in the building. What's going on, Maximilian, Air Global Push? Let me know if my audio is coming in clear. Okay, Brandon says loud and clear. Yeah, man, I'm actually on an older laptop, man. My MacBook crashed out on me a couple of days ago, so I'm using the old school one. So I just want to make some tests real quick. No cam show today, fam. We're doing a no cam show today until I get my setup back up. Okay, Star King says everything's coming through clean. All right, all right, all right. The old school's doing good today. All right, just doing my little test here. Just doing my little test. No cam show today, man. You know I'm usually cammed up for the fam, but today we're just gonna chop it up for a little minute. I just want you. I want to get your guys' thoughts on what's going on. Well, we all know what's going on with Diddy. Coming from a passport bro perspective, it's just hard for us to understand why he would still stay in America with all that money. And you know what I thought about? I ain't gonna be honest. When I think about guys going to through the legal system, and I think about how lawyers are, man, and how a lot of people would place faith in these lawyers. And shout out to my lawyers. I got one of my best friends is a lawyer, but lawyers are such good salesmen. I mean, you think they can fight something, and you're risking your freedom. You're putting your freedom in their hands, and I think that's what happens with a lot of guys that have achieved large amounts of wealth. They think they can just pay their way out of something, which is definitely understandable because you can definitely, pay your way out of certain things in America. You definitely, and I think that's one of the things about being a passport, bro. Like the most shocking thing I had to adjust to was the legal systems overseas and how you damn near can just, what we do overseas. When things happen overseas, it's the POP situation, pay the police. Well, what's that? Is that POP? Pay the PTP. I guess you want to say PTP, pay the police. What up, Ozzy? Yeah, we here chopping up, man. My MacBook crashed, so we on the old school today, so we just kind of chopping up in here real quick. I really did this show just to kind of test out the audio to make sure I was coming through loud and clear for the family. What up, Zen San? Yeah, guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, man. We in here. No cam show. I might leave the stream up. But like I was saying about the Diddy situation, coming from a passport bro perspective, it's just kind of hard to kind of fathom. Like, dude, I mean, you got enough resources to have easily left the States. You got your own private jet. It's just hard for me to understand why would you just stay around like that. And I'm not saying if the man is guilty. Honestly speaking, man, it's hard for me to even understand the charges. Because when you look at the actual charges of what he was doing, not to say that what he was doing was right, but it was all consenting adults. That's number one. So a lot of people try to put him with the R. Kelly situation. Nah, these were all adults, consenting adults that he pretty much paid for services. And the crazy charge is, a lot of people don't understand the definition of sex trafficking or X trafficking for YouTube. All right. They don't really understand the actual definition because a lot of guys can actually get banged up. A lot of people in general can get caught up in that because the definition of X trafficking, all it is basically saying that you're going to fly somebody. The thing about the law is, it's all about, it's like legal loopholes, right? Now, the law was created back in the 50s and 60s because pimps were taking girls over state lines. That's what the law was created for. It was created for them pimps back in the 60s and 70s that were pimping. They were going from Detroit to California. They're going to the Bay and everything, taking underage girls, across state lines to sell their bodies. That's what the legal definition law was supposed to be. But now, it technically, what it really could be is, let's just give you an example. If let's just say my man, let me just throw somebody in the chat. I'm gonna throw you on the bus. Let's say Bruce M2. I like that name, Bruce M2. Let's just say Bruce M2 was talking to a chick in Miami or something, right? No, let's say Atlanta. He talking to a chick in Atlanta, and he says, "Baby, I'm gonna fly you to Miami to come and see me, and I'm gonna take care of you when you get here, right? Remember, I'm gonna pay for your flight, and when you get here, I'm gonna quote unquote take care of you financially." That's technically sex trafficking, fam. That's technically what sex trafficking is, because my man is actually going to pay her for services once she arrives, and he's taking her from her destination, her home city, to his destination. That's technically sex trafficking. Yeah, Jack Johnson was accused of it too. Well, we all know that what Jack Johnson was doing. He was he was knocking them boys out. DMT is deeper. It's deeper than his charges, really. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people, Puff was going against like Universal and stuff. Like he was pissing off them Hollywood folk doing the Batman and the Joker every year for Halloween. They told him, they see them assist and desist, and he kind of just tore up the letter and all that shit. That's one of the reasons. It's like they're trying to humble him. What up, Kevin Rollins? What's good, bro? My man's in the app. BMT, what's the difference in Punta Cana and Sosua, and which one is better? All right. Punta Cana is much cleaner, man. It's much more laid back. I got a funny story to tell y'all. I'll post it in the Facebook group, actually. I got a I always got a funny story to tell. But okay, so Punta Cana, you would get a mix of American women, the sisters, the American women. I saw, snow bunnies out there, white women out there. Of course, you got the Dominican women out there. And you got some Haitian women out there. So you got a mix because of the resorts in Punta Cana. You got more of a mix. All right, more of a mix. I didn't explore all throughout Punta Cana like that. I really just went out there to holler at my man Razor Rays for a couple of days. But the little area I was in, Drake Point and all that, it's nice, man. It's clean. It feels really safe. Even though it was a weekend, it wasn't many people out there. But the funny thing is, matter of fact, I'm gonna wait till we get to 100 to tell you the funny story about what I saw in Punta Cana with the sisters. I'm gonna wait till how they got finessed out there. But it's just much cleaner, man. Sosua is what Sosua is. I think Punta Cana is more like a mix. You can kind of have your fun, and because some guys like meeting American women. I mean, it's the same language, similar culture. Some of the American women, they might be more comfortable with an American over a Dominican or a Haitian dude. So you got that option out there. You definitely got that option out there to deal with the American women. Is there a war on hip hop? It used to be. Diddy was about to buy MTV and the elites got mad at him. Backpack Val. I don't know about. I haven't heard that he was trying to buy MTV. Do people still watch MTV? I wouldn't be trying to buy no TV station in 2024, fam, to be honest with you. Maybe I haven't seen the metrics, but I mean, I know I don't watch TV like that. I don't see too many other people just, bunkering down. Maybe the women watch a lot of TV these days. I don't know. Yeah, they got finessed out there in Punta Cana, man. It was funny as hell too. It was funny as hell. We got 85 in the room, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Hit that like button. I got an interview coming up tomorrow. I'm gonna see if my man gonna be available for the interview tomorrow. All right. So me and my man Rays, we out there. Where was we at? We was in that little circle of I think it's Club Infinity, Drink Point, and you gotta watch it in them clubs, man. I mean, I met a couple of the owners. They were cool, you know, American Dominicans and all that, or Dominican Americans, however you say it. They were cool and everything, but it's like, you know, it's expensive, and you just gotta know your prices up front so they won't hand you like a $500 bill. So me and Ray's was outside, and all of a sudden we see like, and it's funny because you can see, you know, as you get older, you know, your intuition gets so much higher. That's the benefit of getting older. And I saw the faces of these girls, and I could tell. I'm like, first of all, I can tell they're American, but second of all, I can just look at them how they kind of moving, like with some Arab nervousness or something, like they just stole something. All of a sudden, I just see this Dominican guy run out. Hey, you know, muchacha or something, you know, coming and stop and everything. And he's like, hey, you know, and it was like 2, 3, 4 Dominican dudes all coming out swamping thing. Hey, you got to pay your bill. You got to pay your bill. Look what you got to pay your bill. And she's like, no, the guy said he'll take care of it. He said he'll take care of it. They're like, no, you misunderstood. You know, no. So they're just like, no, we're not paying that. We're not paying that. And I'm like, damn, okay. So come to find out, I guess I'm assuming that they sat in some section in the club and got some drinks, and you know, where there was probably a holster or something like that. Told them, hey, you know, got love for you. Thank you for coming. You know, have a seat. You know, have some drinks. Hey, this is on the house, and the bill was like $500. All right, and the girls, it was like four or five girls. They were nice looking sisters too, man. They was in their 20s. They were pretty, dressed to impress. They were sexy, but they didn't want to pay that bill though. So the next night, I see the same little setup. I see the same setup. This time it's like some big girls, you know, some big American girls, and same little hostess. And I approached one of the girls, you know, shout out to Ray, because Ray, shout out to Ray's just like, BMT, I just thought you had a big girl fetish. I didn't know what you had going on over there. I was like, nah, man. You know, as another American, here I go trying to, you know, just kind of look out. And I'm trying to tell him, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm just going to tell him like, hey, you know, be careful of the Don Juan dude. He you know, he be setting y'all up. But before I can even, you know, even say anything, like before I can even be like, hey, how you doing? Or it was like, all I heard was, I'm good. I'm like, excuse me? She's like, oh, I'm good. Thank you though. And I'm like, damn, wait a minute, shorty. I wasn't trying to holler. I wasn't trying to holler at you or nothing. I'm just trying to tell you like the setup, like they be finessing in this little, you know, they be finessing, you know, you American, you a fellow American like me, you know, don't sit in the sections unless you feel like paying $300 to $500. But, you know, they hit me with the, you know, it was deep voice, big back chick too. It was funny because I seen them on the beach the next day. It was like 4 of them. It was a dude with them too, though. So it was like 3 big girls and a dude. And these were some linebackers for sure. They was all in the either heavy 2s or early 3s. So you know the lookup I'm telling about. And she was like, oh, I'm good. Now we straight. Thank you, though. And I'm like, damn, shorty, like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. All right, do your thing, baby girl. Shit, I'm just, you know. Said, dang, those skits are real wild. I just said, let them get finesse. You know, dudes think I be trying to rag on the women. That's not that at all, man. I could care less, honestly speaking. You know, I want everybody to enjoy going overseas. If anybody is trying to be like more cordial to, you know, other people from my community, it would be me actually. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, dudes don't be giving a damn when they see the, you know, women overseas, especially in our spots. Man, the day I came across this female group, it was I think it was called, what was that thing called? Sisters Travel, or what was that thing called? Let me see. I need to pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it, fam. It was like Sisters Travel or something like that. Hold on. Black Man Travels, Sisters Travels. It was something like that. That joint had like some hundreds of thousands of women in it. I'm just like, damn. Let me see if I can get in. Oh, it's on the wrong Facebook page. God damn it. Okay. They still got it on the, okay. I can't pull that one up. All right. But it was a lot. It was a lot. I'm guessing the dude might have been from the alphabet community. I don't know, man. I don't know. Did he got hit with FRICO charge, not a RICO charge? Chad the Great says BMT, they can't be linebackers. Linebackers are 230 pounds, heavy twos and threes, are offensive defensive linemen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know the crazy part is, it's like at least with the snow bunnies gonna listen. They gonna be like, huh? Oh, cool. You're American? Oh, okay, cool. Because the snow bunnies be out there too. They be dressed. It was a bad one out there. You don't see some of the battered chicks in Punta Cana, in my opinion. You don't see some of the battered chicks. I actually like Punta Cana, fellas, to be all honest with you. I'll probably hit that. I would hit that more than I would hit Sosua. I hit Sosua, man. It's kind of a network with the brothers. You know, it's a cooler brotherhood. Like a lot of guys hit businesses. But I really don't have around a Sosua like that, man. Shout out with Ron the Traveler with the $5 super chat, man. Diddy should have run. LOL and let the lawyers sort out this while he was on the island chilling. Ronan DR. Shout out my man Ronan. I'm still waiting on that interview, brother. You gotta link up. We definitely gotta link up. You know, it's funny, man, because ever since I seen that documentary about Frank Matthews, I know, guys, if you haven't heard of Frank Matthews, and appreciate the super chat, Ronan. If you guys have not heard of Frank Matthews, man, look up the documentary. Look up a documentary about my man. Who made that documentary about Frank Matthews? I mean, this dude was beyond Frank Lucas. A lot of people in the streets didn't even understand why they did a documentary on Frank Lucas in comparison to my man right here, Frank Matthews, right? And he kind of tried to lay the blueprint for all them guys, man. And they just didn't. Maybe they didn't get the memo, but Frank wasn't playing with him. Frank got the hell on. Frank got the hell on. Man, why's my shit won't pull up? They said Frank had the whole East Coast. And I'm not bragging about the drug dealing dude, because I don't really like that whole dope boy shit, in all honesty. Hold on, let me see if I can share the screen here with my man Frank Matthews real quick so you guys can try to check him out. Because he had a good little documentary. Hold on. Okay, this shit moving slow as ice right now. Let me see if we can pull it up. Okay. Yeah, that's my man Frank Matthews right there. We rolling. There we go. Somebody, he had a good life. The freak off mess and his ego did him in. Yeah, Al Prophet. There you go. Appreciate that, Fatorius. Photo Aureus. It's a dope name, Photo Aureus. Yeah, my man Frank Matthews, man. He wasn't playing with him. He wasn't playing with him. Frank asked the judge. He said, "Hey, judge, what y'all planning on doing with me, man? Y'all gonna really lock me up for real?" And they were like, "Yeah, Frank, you're gonna go away for a long time, man. These charges, they damn near life." Frank said, "Okay." Frank hit him, and they almost caught Frank too. That's why I don't understand why they haven't done a movie on Frank Matthews, man, because he literally, one of the agents kind of had intuition like he was gonna get the hell on. He had too much money. They was like, "Man, this guy got too much money. We can't let him bail out." But they let him get bail. It was like $1 million. It was something crazy. But he bailed out. And one of the agents, I think Frank hit like a P.O. box or something right before he left. Frank left with like his 19-year-old girlfriend. I think he left his kids and his children and everything. His wife and his children at the time. That line in Heat where De Niro says, you got to be willing to leave everything in like, 10, 15, 30 seconds flat or something like that. But Frank got the hell on, man. He got the hell on. And it's funny because they never have found Frank. And it's rumors that he's still alive, right? It's rumors that my man's still going strong wherever he's at. For Notorious say, good to see you and Rays. And we all know what happened with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons, he wasn't playing with him. Russell wasn't playing with him. Russell went to Bali, started doing well. He was doing yoga before he went to Bali. I actually had some friends of mine that actually part of it, Russell, in Bali. Did he sacrifice Big Y'all? Lord, here we go with the conspiracy. Did he sacrifice? He sacrificed Biggie, man. He definitely had something to do with Pop going away. You know what? I've heard of that. You know what, man? I've actually heard of Ronnie Biggs and his escape to Brazil. I heard of that story. Somebody told me about Ronnie Biggs. I think it was John. What's John? John Thompson? I think he told me that one time. We was in Copacabana. But yeah, Frank Matthews was the head honcho, man. He was a big guy. He got the hell on. I don't know why Big Meeson do the same thing. In memory of Diddy, who down for one final freak off? Listen, man. From my standpoint, like it was all considered adults to me. I don't really get in the man's personal life business. Diddy has withdrawn his racial discrimination lawsuit against Diego after accusing the spirits company of marginalizing his Ciroc vodka. So y'all think this is because he tried to make a large purchase? You think it's really that? Because my thing is like, if somebody don't want to sell something to you, they're not gonna sell it to you, bro. To me, it seemed like who would benefit the most out of this is always the lawyers and the legal system, man. They benefit. You don't get no refunds on nothing. You know, the most you can do is make the other party pay for when you win, and it's going to be held and high water try to get your money from them because you can only maybe garnish they account maybe once, and if they most of their accounts going to be in trust funds. I mean, it's all types of ways you can kind of hide your money legally. You know, you got money overseas and overseas bank accounts that's almost protected against American, government, not American, U.S. lawsuits, basically personal U.S. lawsuits. So you got to make sure that when you in some form of a lawsuit, man, to make sure it's even worth it to even do it. I'm telling you, man, lawyers are, bro, they some real deal bloodsuckers. Shout out to my lawyer. Like I say, no pun intended. One of my best friends is a lawyer, but they some bloodsuckers, man. They'll bleed you dry. All right. Shout out to Photo Orisis for the 99 super chat, man. Yeah, we just chopping up here today, man. No cam show. Like I said, I'm testing my old school MacBook out today. I'm pissed the hell off, man. My MacBook crashed on me. It's a brand new damn near MacBook. I didn't think MacBooks even crashed. But apparently they do. Apparently they do. Let's see here. You know what, John Horse? We ain't gonna say nothing. We ain't gonna say nothing about that. We ain't gonna say nothing about that. We ain't gonna say nothing about that, man. I will say this though. When you are a U.S. millionaire, you are a king everywhere. I'll just put it to you that way. When you are a U.S. millionaire, you are a king everywhere. Maybe besides little countries like Europe, other little rich ass Switzerland and all that. If that's what you into, but in most countries that we like to go to, the biggest barrier is probably going to be the language. If you a guy, if you're a man with some means, and you get that language down, you're literally going to be a king. You're literally going to be a king because the legal systems overseas, man, is really. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. In Thailand, they say there are two legal systems, right? Legal systems for poor people and legal systems for the rich. It was a Thai billionaire heir from the Red Bull empire. You know, Red Bull started in Thailand and everything, right? So it was one of the Thai heirs to the Red Bull, worth billions of dollars. And this dude was high and drunk, high on cocaine, drunk, smacked, ran to the back of a Thai police officer, killing him instantly, right? Hit him. And the dude never went to prison, never went to jail. They kept delaying the case over and over again. And when he hit the police officer, he was driving like 100 miles an hour, right? Because he was high, drunk, and on cocaine and everything. And the corrupt police, lowered the actual speed that he was going, so he'll have lesser charges. So now they got, I guess, some new politicians that are trying to actually arrest the corrupt police officers that helped the billionaire out, because the common citizens of Thailand are upset, and the family of the police officer is upset as well. They're like, wait a minute, maybe, I'm pretty sure that he probably paid the family, but they still want some type of justice to set a tone. And what they said was that a rotten tree bears spoiled fruit. Some to that extent is like the Thai quote, So that goes on almost everywhere outside. And who was asking me? It was a Dominican asking me. Yeah. It was a Dominican guy asking me. And Punta Cana, they love. He's never been to America. And he said, "Hey, so is it true that police don't accept money in America?" And I'm like, nah, that's just a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, you're not about to bribe the average, patrol police officer. You're not going to do that. Like, it's, dudes it's not happening for the most part. For the most part, there's always an exceptions. Now, if some, patrol officers, some street cops pull you over and you got $500,000 to $1 million in your trunk, they might make an exception for you. But who has that type of money on average? He was like, well, the police here are just so corrupt, man. You can literally kill somebody here, and you just pay the police. And I was like, yeah, it's like that. It's like that. I remember. Let me tell you, one time I was on the beach. Where was I at? What beach was this? Man, I cannot remember what beach I was on. Fam, it escapes me what beach, but I know I was in the DR. And I seen a white dude walk up to a police officer, pull his gun. He pulled a cop's gun out of his holster, shoot that bitch up in the air, laugh around, shoot that bitch a couple more times, and toss him his gun back and pat him on the back and walk off. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you gonna let that motherfucker do that? So it's different out here, fam. It's different out here, because if you go for a police officer's gun in America, you're dead. I don't care what color you are. You dead man walking. Pathfinder says, I remember that case with the Red Bill Air. Yeah, they just did an article about it. Speaking of Thailand, man, Thailand just did something. Thailand, man, they are so funny style about. I mean, I get it. I understand that you're like the world's biggest travel destination, and a lot of people don't want to leave the land of smile. I totally understand where they're coming from, and they got rules in place. The crazy part is they got a lot of rules and laws in place to protect the Thai citizens from jobs being taken away, or land being taken away from anything like that, property. They got all types of laws. And I always think to myself, I'm like, damn, us Americans, we don't got nothing. We don't got anything. Like, we benefit off the American dollar being so strong, but in general, we don't got no laws really protecting us from people coming to the United States, taking all our jobs away, buying properties, can buy land. I mean, that is crazy. Because in Asia, man, you really can't do anything as a foreigner, to be honest with you. All right, they literally set you back. If you fall in love out there, oh man, I've seen it with my own two eyes. Them women that take everything from you. They take everything. They'll finesse you right from the paperwork. I've seen businesses get taken. in Thailand. But they had this thing about the new visa coming out, and they just did something new. They just did something a couple of days ago, talking about a new electronic visa. So they're always switching up, changing something, man. You got to really stay on top of it in concerns of your visas. It's like that in Colombia as well now. You know, Colombia used to be one of the countries where you could stay in and not have to really worry about overstaying your visa like that, because they'll just hit you with a fine when you leave. And then, they'll let you right back in, basically. Like, I'll stay my first time in Colombia, I stayed for close to a year. So I was over my visa by like what, a few months, maybe. Like, hold on, 6 months, 107, 8, 9, 7, almost 6 or 7 months, and I paid $125 or something. They was like, "Hey, man, you want to come back? You can come on back." So Thailand's one of the places you got to really stay on top of it, man, because when they kick you out, they kick you out for 5 to 10 years and stuff like that. And you want to be careful. You got to really stay on top of the visa situation out there in Thailand. Colombia just switched it up a few years ago, where now they kind of strict. DR has a real relaxed system to a certain degree. This is why a lot of guys, as a matter of fact, one of my guys was telling me today, he was like, "Man, I see why you moved to DR." But DR, you just pretty much pay a fine. They pretty much welcome, outside American dollars. Maximilian Global Push, who's also a member, says, "I posted in the Facebook group about Japan. You can own property in Japan even if you aren't a citizen." Okay, that's different. Drew says Ninja said they was trying to, that Bill Cosby was trying to buy NBC. That's the thing. I don't understand that. If you think about it, man, what's the logic in that though? If somebody don't want to sell to you, they just won't sell to you, bro. Why would you try to go through that much, legal legalities and everything to stop somebody from buying something when you can just literally tell the person, don't sell it to them? What up, Iman? Yeah, man, we just chop it up here. Like I said, I was really coming on to just really test my audio real quick to make sure when I do this interview tomorrow, we're gonna be good to go. I got a hell of an interview coming for you guys tomorrow too. I might try to push it up. We're just gonna do it at 7. I might try to push it up. Matter of fact, let me see if I can catch my WhatsApp. Now I upload the thumbnail now so you can see what we're gonna be talking about. We got 115 in the room, guys. Do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button. We just in here chopping up for a minute. Yeah, Pat Farrell, that Frank Matthews story. I mean, I don't think you're gonna see that one on Netflix. East Oakland says, "Hello, BMT. I'm Dominican, originally from LA, from La Vega. Been here in Oakland for the last 10 years. I want to go soon." Man, let me tell you, man, it's been hot as hell out here lately. It's been uncontrollably hot. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's been hot out here lately, man. It's been really hot. I mean, it has to be like 97, 98 in San Domingo right now. And I'm good with hot temperatures. But damn, in these buildings, they don't be having no central air, and 95% of the buildings in the DR. So you come outside your apartment, the hallway be 150 damn degrees. But it's hot, man. I mean, you sweating all day long, okay? But other than that, man, the DR is chill. I actually enjoy the people of the Dominican Republic, man. It's real chill, real laid back, very helpful, man. Very helpful. A lot of people in San Domingo speak, English. If the person doesn't speak English, it's easy to point out. They'll say, "Hey, you speak English," and 9 times out of 10, they'll say, "Yeah," you know. BMT. So you call yourself a passport, bro, or do you say you have the mindset? We can clarify in your future interview coming in January. I got an interview coming in January. Yeah, I mean, I call myself a passport, bro. Yeah, I definitely call myself a passport, bro. Yeah, I call myself a passport, bro, for sure. But like I said, it's an ideology. I'm 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 up front with mine. I don't hide anything. So yeah, I call myself a passport, bro. Since I got a Diddy scholarship to college. Okay. Somebody said he will be pardoned. I'm all over these Japanese IKEA. This is a tremendous deal for people who own some houses at a low price point. That's interesting, man. I gotta look really into that. I was looking at some of the prices in Punta Cana actually, and they're not at all. Like the prices are very reasonable for these apartments out here. You just got to make sure you're dealing with the right people because it's a lot of scams going on out here. There's a lot of scams going on overseas in general when it comes to apartments. Excuse me. It's not like America. You got to be real careful, when in terms of getting apartments. I know somebody that was in Medellin, a friend of mine actually. She was in Medellin and she put down a deposit for an apartment. She went to go move in, and people were already like living there or something. It was something to that extent that she had basically got finessed. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta be real careful, man, out here overseas in the terms that usually 9 times out of 10, if you're just renting, you won't have a big issue. But I tell people you want to try to rent from a verified source because there's a lot of scams involved. And I was looking for an apartment. Me and Marie was looking for an apartment, and we almost got scammed. But I don't really. I'm not in the habit of sitting in money and all that, and putting deposits down before I see the apartment or meet the people. I need to see the building style. I need to be in the building. I need to be in the office. I'm gonna record the transactions. I need to see the person's name. I do all that. All that little stuff. So they will finesse you. So you gotta be careful about Amazon. Yeah, I heard about Amazon ending remote work. Somebody said Japanese homes are outdated and in the sticks. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. Hey, man. I know a lot of people hear different things in the Passportbro news community. Just verify, man. Just verify. Okay, so deposits are not allowed in Colombia. Well, it's the thing. They're not allowed um, if they don't have furniture. If it's an empty apartment, they should not be asking you for a deposit. But if it's an apartment with furniture, uh, I believe, at least when I was there, they have the right to ask you for a deposit. Now, one of my apartments in Medellin, and I'm very cool with the owner. I actually know a couple of guys that own apartments there, actually, a couple of Colombians. But one of my apartments, I'm really cool with the owner. And he charged me like a real light deposit when I move in. If I tell him, I say, "Hey, man, I think I'm gonna be here 6 months, but I might be here 3 or 4. You know how I am." He's like, "Yeah, I know you like. I know you travel. Just give me, 300, 400." So he'll hit me like that with a deposit, and he'll shoot it right on back. Yeah, T Mac. Yeah, they be. Let me tell you, man. One of the funnest things used to be going on, looking for an apartments in Medellin because this everything is so congested for a certain degree. You can just walk to building, just literally ask the doorman, uh, if there's some apartments available, right? And you just they'll show you around, or they'll call whoever they need to call, and they'll show you the apartment. The older apartments in Medellin, they used to be like cheap, like $500, $600. But when all the people started coming to Medellin in the last 2 years, man, it just got crazy, bro. Like I would never imagine being in Sabaneta or Envigado and somebody asking for $1,000 a month for a 1 bedroom. Never. Not in a million years, but that's kind of what's going on now. But the guy interviewed tomorrow apartment is in San Domingo, Colombia, and his apartment is like $150 a month. So I'm gonna be interviewing him hopefully tomorrow. What up, Jay Clyde? Yeah, we just in here chopping it up, man. We here chopping it up, bro. No cam show. No cam show today, man. We just in here talking for a little moment, catching the breeze. Shout out to my man, it's Jay Clyde, always showing support. One of my original interviews. One of my mods, even though he let everybody talk ish about me. Shout out to Jay Clyde. That's my man's though. One of my first interviewees, basically. JM, there are plenty of remote jobs where? In Japan? What are you talking about? Yeah, shout out to my man, Flight Madness. Shout out to him, man. He's always talking about teaching English. That's that's definitely a viable option. We are at a real advantage being American. There's some disadvantages to a certain degree, but it's more pluses than minuses when you're American overseas, man. Because it's almost unfair that the world has to acquiesce to English, basically. Like that is the financial language of the world. It is what it is. You got signs in English. Even when I'm in San Domingo, I'll be looking at certain, menus and stuff in malls and stores. I'll be like, oh, this shit is in English. Okay. So English is the king's language. It's good to know it, but it's even better when you know other languages as well. I had a chick tell me, Dominican chick tell me, she had an attitude too, but she was just like, she spoke fluent English. Like you would think she was a sister from the damn States, how good her English was. No accent whatsoever. Spoke 3 languages, even though she said she was Dominican, not Haitian. But most people that speak 3 languages are going to be Haitian. And she looked Haitian, but she said she was Dominican. You get a lot of that out here too. I'm like, you sure you're Dominican? You damn sure look Haitian. But she's like, you Americans are just so lazy. You Americans are just so lazy. You only know one language. I'm like, yeah, we don't know one language, but it's the language that damn near matter the most. It is what it is. But nah, man, you definitely want to get on your language thing, man. Even if you're in Thailand, learn some Thai. That's the thing, man. Like I know in Thailand, a lot of guys don't really care to learn the language, and I'm like, man, you kind of want to know what they're saying about you, bro. You got because they got their little ways out there in Thailand too. It's a beautiful place, but people will always, what they do intentionally and unintentionally, like one up you with the language. Even when you are dating, like the girl I'm dating right now, when she gets pissed or say something, when she gets slick with it, she'll say it in Spanish. And I'll be like, yo, what'd you just say? No, demon. Like, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm like, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, yeah, they're gonna always have that one up on you, man. They get mad, they're gonna cuss your ass out in Spanish every damn time. And it'll be something light too. It'll be something light. It was something like I got cussed out a couple of days ago because the power went out in the building, and I decided to book an Airbnb because I had like an extremely important meeting, and I didn't want to take no chances. So I tell my little chica, I'm like, yo, she was just like, why'd you get another apartment? She, of course, she's thinking that I got another apartment so I can sleep with another girl. That's her mindset. Like, oh, you got that apartment, so you can't be caught and all this bullshit. That's come to find out that's what she was thinking. I'm like, nah, man, I don't give a damn about that. Like, I got a meeting. Like, I'm not playing with this power outage thing. And she got highly upset and started, cussing me ass out in Spanish. She was just like, you need to be a man, Aaron. And I'm like, what that got to do with me wanting to rent an Airbnb because the power, it's like, you need to be a man. It's like, okay. I mean, I need to cancel my Airbnb and risk not being able to attend my meeting. It's just, these women crazy out here, man. Yeah, JM. Yeah. I've been using LingoPie lately, but what I did? I was telling Ray's this because Ray's, he was like, damn, BMT, you speak Spanish. I'm just like, nah, man, I ain't gonna say I speak Spanish just yet. But I can definitely get around. I've been out here long enough. But the thing about Dominican Spanish, it's a big difference in Colombian Spanish to where if I was in Colombia, I have it down pat for sure. But with Dominican Spanish, it's almost like the street. The streets got to teach you to a certain degree. Like you got to be out and about, man. Just strike up conversations, and either you know or you don't know with that shit. That's, I mean, so a lot of times when I'm talking, to my Dominicans and shit like that, I'm just learning as I go. Ask them, okay, what did you say, or how about the spatial? Please slow down. Let me just soak it in, because it's hard to kind of study because there's so much slang and lingo with it. It's almost like trying to go to the hood to learn English to a certain degree. And they speak that shit so goddamn fast. You just be like, damn. And in some cases, they speak it low. You can't even hear them. Like yesterday, the chick was asking me, what she say? Tajay or después, like basically, you want your ice cream now or later? And of course, I know that, but I just didn't hear. What up, Tevin King? But you'll get it. Spanish is one of the languages that you'll get. You'll get. It's not like an Asian language. It's not like Chinese or Mandarin or nothing like that. It ain't one of them difficult languages like that. You'll get it. Just don't get discouraged. I noticed that the women though, bro, they get this shit down fast. It's a chick that moved in my building. Within like 6 months, she was speaking that shit. I'm like, how? She just like, I study. I just go hard in the study, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty good. T-Max says I paid $700 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom in La Rush with cellular unfurnished. That's not bad at all for La Rush. That's a real good price. That's a very good price. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good price, man. Man, I gotta say, everybody here in DR wants to go to Medellin. Medellin is like Miami, not far as the weather, but it's like Miami for people in Atlanta. You know, let me tell you something. If you want your Tinder profile to go crazy, just put some pictures of you in Medellin somewhere. All right, in Poblado, or what's the barrio out there, the famous Community Thursday or something like that. Just put you some pictures up, and they all love Medellin here. And I'm telling you right now, man, it's so hot in San Domingo right now, bro. I feel like you can melt. It's so damn hot out here. It cools off a little bit at night, but man, it's hot. It's hot. Pathfinder says, "Where would you open up a business?" I wouldn't open up. Okay, let me reference this. Personally, I wouldn't open up a business in Sosua, but if you was to open up a business in Sosua, I would get with the local business owners ASAP, because I heard some changes going on out there. Like I said, I'm in San Domingo, guys, so I don't really, like I said, I might go through there every blue moon like that, but I'm more of a, and like I said, San Domingo is still my favorite city out of all cities that I have been to thus far. I'm supposed to be going to San Cristobal soon. What else? When to Punta Cana. Maybe I might visit La Vega. I like Santiago as well. Santiago is a lot of guys' favorite city too. I got shout out to my man Kobe. He's out there in Santiago. DR is chill, man. DR is chill. Like I've always liked DR. But the language, the dialect is hard. Is trying, man. It's difficult. Sometimes you just got to tell them to slow down. It's like no way to avoid it. Because if you want to speak the shit fast like them, sometimes you just got to say, hey, habla despacio, señor, por favor. God damn, Like I don't even know how you can breathe and talk at the same time. Y'all be talking so goddamn fast, man. The Dominicans have Taino and slang influence in their language. I've been studying for 8 years and still have problems understanding. Listen, my sister Maria, we was walking one day and some Dominican dude spit some shit at her, and she was like, I don't understand not one word he just said. And I was like, hey. She said, why you love Medellin? You know what, man? I think it's the infrastructure, and I think it's the weather, because it's so hot here. It's so hot here, man. I think it's just They want it just feel good to cool off and just relax and be somewhere different in a nice Spanish speaking city with a nice infrastructure, nice apartments. I mean, the infrastructure is much better. Like, bro, you could be in an apartment in the DR and you could be paying $1,200 to $1,400 a month, and your hallway, the hallway lopsided. Like the floor is not even, bro. Like that'll happen. Your internet go out, power go out, uh, all types of stuff, man. It'd be all types of stuff. You might not have no water for a day or two because the water truck didn't come. You can't drink out the faucet. It's a lot of little things, man. It's still like Santo Domingo has decent infrastructure, but if you go to other places, you just be like, whoa. Kevin Rose, I watched the guy go fluent in 4 months. When I was in the Army, it was a job skill, though. I don't know how they do that. He probably acquired the language instead of learned the language. I had a white guy told me that he was like, man, you got to cut off all English for like 2 months, and you might not know it all, but you'll definitely be able to communicate a whole lot better. T Matt says, I would get my Colombian citizenship in 2 years. I would be saying, all you gringos go home. I got a friend of mine who's been getting his Colombian citizenship. He's been having some trouble, man. So make sure you got that, everything situated with that, because I know he's been going through that as of late, and he's married to a Colombian woman and been having issues with that. Shout out to my man JM with the 5 super chat, man. I really appreciate it as we out here just chopping it up, man. No Cam show. JM with the 5 super chat says, why would you consider Cali, Colombia a good place to live permanently and make it your base, or is it too dangerous? I gotta go to Cali, Colombia. All right, I gotta go Cali, Colombia and really just kick it there for a while. That might be my next destination. It's funny, man, because I know some guys from Cali that's moving here. So it really depends. I think if you're a guy that's trying to like date and run up some numbers, just dating casually, I think DR is a good spot for that because there are no elements of the scope queens here unless they from Colombia, But other than that, you can date. They flaky, but they'll link up with you. They'll meet you for ice cream, or they might come over. Whatever. Like there's a lot of that here, and plus you got the Haitian population. They hear heavy. Of course they like Black Americans like a motherfucker. So you got that as well. So you got some options here. Cali, I gotta go there. Shout out to my girl D. D's out there. I need to go out there and holler. I got Andre out there as well. So I got, some people I can go out there and holler at. But I go out there and check it out one day, man. It's funny, man, because I know cats in Colombia that's been living in Colombia for 10 years without any incidents whatsoever. Right. And I've been in, some sticky situations with nothing crazy. For the most part, nothing crazy happened to me when I'm in the barrios and other little areas in Medellin and everything like that. You just got to have some street smarts and be very aware. If you notice the guys that, and it's going to sound cliche what I'm about to say, right? Because I know in this space, we don't really like to bring up the hood too much, because it's just like we're trying to escape that type of element or being associated with that element. I totally get it. We're intelligent guys and everything. But if you do look at it, you can criticize Pookies as much as you want. They're not the ones getting scoped. All right. The dudes that grew up in these bad neighborhoods in America, in these notorious neighborhoods that was so dangerous, especially in the 80s and 90s. I don't care what nobody says. Nothing holds a torch to the crack epidemic that we went through. Nothing. Okay, these kids out here these days, they bad because they gang banging, basically, right? They grew up in some tough neighborhoods. I get it. They in the hood. I get it. But it's nothing can compare to the horror or the hell of walking through Southwest Atlanta and any other major city in America during the middle of the crack epidemic. And I would say anywhere from 89 to 93, 95, bro. All right. You saw everything. The only way you can really take a glimpse at it for my young guys is to look at The Wire. All right. Look at The Wire and see some of those episodes. All right. You walking through, and I mean, you 13, 14, it's like a wild safari, right? You got crackheads, dope boys, robbers, killers, prostitutes. I mean, it was so if you can grow up in that type of environment and survive, you're gonna be anywhere in the world. Damn if it's a language barrier or not, because your intuition has been baked into you to be so damn high for self-preservation. Okay. Because in that time frame, didn't nobody give a damn if you were 12, 13 or not. They could have cared less. As a matter of fact, you was more of a target. So when guys that grow up like that, that's not to say that you were more of a man or anything like that. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. Being a little older than you, it was really back in 85, 87. Yeah, but I'm from the South, man. I want to say I don't know exactly where you're from, AWBATC, but things hit us a little later. So if you was up north, I'm pretty sure it was 85, 87. But if you were down south in Atlanta, that crack epidemic definitely hit at the end of the 80s. But 93, 94, 95 and all that shit, I mean, we lost a whole generation of people, man. And it was tough. It was tough. It was so bad. I remember me and my homeboy at the time, we used to actually have to run because the parking lot was like just, what was it? It was far, basically. The parking lot to the apartment building, it had to be like half a football field or some shit. It used to be so dangerous, man. We used to have to run from the parking lot, because if not, we were gonna get robbed. It's like, what even? And sometimes, crazy thing about back in the day, bro, like you'll get robbed by people you knew, like people you thought you was cool with. You'd be like, damn, D-Rock, we just played basketball together, bro. Like, like what happened? You gonna take my starter jacket? He was like, yeah, bro. You got going to come on off that, bro. Be like, damn. Like, nigga, I'm gonna tell your mama when I get home. Shit. So when I got with D and her people in Cali, the whole group waited for me to get in my taxi before they moved on. They showed serious love. Yeah, man. They be on with the run-ups. Even here in San Domingo, you hear stories of robberies here and there. Not too much in the area that I'm in, but a couple of weeks ago, remember I was telling you guys earlier in the chat about the Airbnb, me booking the other Airbnb. That old girl got mad at me for booking. It's right, literally like not even the whole block up. It's like right up the street, basically. I can walk there from my apartment here. And since I think I had my water here, so I left probably like 12:30 at night to walk to my main apartment to get my water. And as I'm walking, I see 3 women across the street. Now, I'm not paying the women no mind, but I see them there. And, I look at them, I'm like, okay, 3 women across the street. They start hooping and hollering. I'm like, whatever. And I get my water and I come back out. This time I come back out, they on my side of the street, right? So I got to pass them. So I try to pass them. And, they speaking all that, shit and everything. Poppy this, poppy that. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm Gucci. And I walk into the building, the security guard like, yo, they were about to rob you. And I'm like, word? He was like, yeah, dude, they was trying to set you up to rob you. I was like, damn, God, I just kept it moving, walking past him because I knew. I'm like, okay, 3 of y'all was from across the street at first. Now y'all on my side of the street. I'm walking back on. And of course, y'all blocked my passageway. So I got to kind of pass you up and give me space so y'all won't touch me, try to pickpocket me. But so you have things like that. Now, keep in mind, it's like 1 summer in the morning, in San Domingo. Of course, you might get that. But in security, I'm just like, dude, why didn't you come outside? And, because I didn't really talk to him. I was really trying to get past him. But they were definitely, trying to do something. Shout out to Just John, $2 super chat. That bro Diddy has 1,000 baby oils in his crib. 1,000. I mean, he's in a mansion. I mean, could that have been could that have been his sons? I mean, he's in a mansion with like 10, 15 people. The whole baby oil thing, I mean, that's just a dig by the media. They didn't find no weed, they didn't find no cocaine. So they had to put, we found 1,000 bottles of baby oils in his crib. It could have been a little hand baby oils. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. Okay. BMT, that's true. Y'all take the 80s. I'll take the 80s and 90s ATL over the new ATL any day. You from there though? It's different. Yeah. I'm from Southwest Atlanta, man. JM says, I would not want to live in a place that I have to constantly look over my shoulder every day. That's very true, man. You know, me and my man University was talking, and when I get out there to Thailand, we're going to start doing our little podcast again. Because these conversations I definitely needed. And the way we broke it down, we was like, listen, man, there are sacrifices that you have to make everywhere in the world. There is no perfect country, right? I mean, if you were in Thailand, it's relatively safe. You won't have any issues. I mean, you got little stories of like Murder Island. You got little things like that. But for the most part, it's so safe. And you will fall in love with how comfortable you will be in Thailand and most of those other Asian countries. Cambodia a little sticky. They'll get you in Cambodia for sure. But Thailand is safe. But on the flip side, you might not be attracted to the women there if you're going there for that. Versus in South America, it's mainly what a lot of guys like, right? It's the most beautiful women that you'll ever see in your life are going to be in these countries in South America, especially the countries where there's a large Afro population that has mixed in with the native population and the Euro population that came over and, of course, colonized, right? So you're going to have a large mix of beautiful, exotic-looking women. I mean, I've seen the most beautiful women in the world in Colombia, Brazil, and DR. But guess what? It's not that safe. So there you have it, right? Another thing we talked about, he was like, listen, man, in Kenya, you will get, in Kenya and Asia, in East Africa and Asia, you will get more cooperation by the women, right? Because of more of the traditional values. And in certain cases, you can even practice polygamy easier in these countries, especially in Africa. So you will have 2, 3 women that you're taking care of, right? You can have that there, right? Now, the women, they might not be as bad as, the Latina woman. With the Latina woman, she ain't planning on sharing you at all. They'll kill you before they share you out here in Latin America. So, you got little trade-offs. It's really about what you're comfortable with. I know a lot of brothers that was in Latin America that moved to East Africa, moved to Kenya, moved to Thailand, and they're not looking back. You got guys that was in Asia that's like, back in Colombia. As a matter of fact, one of my neighbors in Thailand, he was going back and forth from Medellin to Pattaya, and he loved it. He loved it because he said, he's like, man, Medellin, one of the best cities in the world with the most beautiful women. But the longer you stay out there, the more your odds are of something bad happening to you. So I just keep it brief. I go out there for a couple of months and I bring my ass back here to Pattaya. So it's all about what you're comfortable with. People say passport bros, but they mean that as all black men and blame every negative thing on black men. What am I capping on, Dr. Khan blog? What am I capping on? Yeah, I have some smoke. It's a no cam show. We can talk. We can do some smoke today. Matter of fact, let me drop a link. I'll drop a link, man. We're chopping up. I'll drop a link. We in here. Does my computer have the right time? I don't even know if this computer had the right time. What up, Edine Cole? I haven't seen it. Yeah. It's like some little crazy little island. some little Thai island. They keep murdering the white folks out there, man. That's not funny. I'm just saying it's a little. Look it up. I don't know if it's called Kill Island or Murder Island or something. But hey, they be white people be disappearing. Basically, they killing the foreigners out there on this little island. And it's of course the police system is corrupt out there. I just dropped a link. If anybody wants to pull up, they're welcome to pull up. We can chop it up a little bit. Like I say, we're just chopping it up today. Somebody said, "Do I remember 1985?" Man, I was shit. I was an infant in 1985, bro. Bangkok is cool. Bangkok is fun. It's just I don't know if I would live in Bangkok, man, because the congestion and the smog there. If you have like a bad what's to say? I don't want to say allergies, but if you have issues like asthma or something breathing, like every time I go to Bangkok, man, my eyes start burning. Right, the first couple of days in Bangkok, I'm coughing. It's tough. What up, P.Diddy Cole? What's good, my brother?
I'm good, Aaron. Can you hear me okay, man?
Yeah, we hear you good, man.
It's
Long
been a
time no
minute,
hear
man.
from you. Yeah,
I
it's been
know,
a minute.
man. Man, like I've been grinding, man. We've been talking in the background. I just haven't been public with stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. What's been up? Where you at now?
Oh man, I'm in the beautiful city of Smiles, what you were just talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. In the land of smiles. You know what they call it? The land of smiles.
The land of smiles, my
The
brother.
land of smiles.
You gotta tell us how you enjoying it.
Man, it's great, man. I'm actually about to start back dropping content. I've been working on some. I actually came to Thailand to go to the SEO conference. Chiang Mai is like the number one place for like SEO and search engine optimization. All the big wigs, all the people that's making like $100,000 a day and $10 million a year, and they look like Poindexters, are all out in Chiang Mai. So there's a big conference that's going on. So that's what actually brought me out to Thailand in the first place. And now I'm just doing stuff, handling business. I'm a businessman before I'm a YouTuber or anything else.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
That's a big adjustment, man. You look at yourself as maybe living out there, or it's short stay.
see, that's the thing. I go back and forth with it because I'm thinking like if I got down and stayed down and really just focus, like if I just focus on business and focus on my health, I know I'll be in the best shape of my life because all the walking and all the clean eating. But then I do also I think the next stop is going to be South Africa. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I think the next stop will be South Africa, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm not. I don't know. It's still up in the air. So what I'm gonna do, what I'm focusing on. Another reason why I came out too was to support yoga. Yoga got his first tie fight. He moved the date. It was supposed to have been Halloween. Then he moved it to December 2nd, I think he said. So
Who is he fighting?
what's the dude? I forgot the dude name. Y'all
Is he
know in the
fight,
chat.
Is he fighting Nat Measy or somebody else?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was Magnesium. Y'all know in the chat who he fight. He fighting some dude that used to be a Muay Thai expert or something, or a Thai fighter or something like that.
Yeah, Nat Measy.
Yeah, I guess that's him. I guess
Man, they've been trying to fight for a year
forever.
now. Yeah, so
No.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. But yeah, man, I wanted to talk this. A part of me, man, wanted to go live, but I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I'm trying. I want, my channel my channel is mainly curated towards travel and towards business and business travel. But I really wanted to talk this situation with Diddy, bro, because it vexes me, man. It really bothers me, man. It
Mm-hmm.
really, really does, because I see that he's being villainized for being a successful black man. Because if you look at Hugh Hefner, Hugh
Mm-hmm.
Hefner is the definition of a trafficker. I don't want to mess up the monetization. So what words can I say or what can't I say? It's been a minute since
I
I
mean,
streamed
you just use X and
X.
front of the controversial words like ex
Okay,
trafficker.
X trafficker. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
boom. Okay, check this. All right. All right, I got to knock off the dust. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've been live, but okay. So yeah, I would love to debate anybody on this. So y'all try to convince me, because this is the thing that we know about the court of law. Since you and I have been, there's this philosopher. His name was Oliver Wendell Holmes. He said, once a man's mind has been expanded with thought or experience, it will never be satisfied with going back to his previous state of ignorance. Since you and I have lived outside the United States and experienced the world abroad, it's more blatant to me when you can see a system that is being designed against, especially the African American man, and the legal
Hmm.
system. They're really putting this thing together with shoestring and bubble gum to make this man guilty for something. And it
Hmm.
really irritates me and it bothers me, because there's there's so many people that's talking, especially in the LGBTQ community. I'm listening and I'm looking at a lot of these women, and they champ the same thing they did with with Kevin Samuels. They championing a successful black man when he passed away. It's like they're using these platforms, and that's why I appreciate you for creating a platform, so that we can talk about this stuff, because it really bothers me, man. Like there's like, okay, Boosie was talking about it, and that was dope, and Faison Love was talking about it too. I mean, think about how many times, not even outside of the country, Aaron, because I know you've been successful in Atlanta. A lot of people might not know you like I know you, but I know you've been doing your thing in Atlanta for a long time with the movies and everything,
Hmm.
and you've been a high value man even before you left the country. So how
Right.
many times have you done been with a chick and you done flew her out? Or how many times have you said, "Oh, baby, let's go Miami or let's go to Florida," before we got that international taste, or even did a cruise with a
Hmm.
chick, and then you go, you do what you do, and like Boosie said, okay, you want some change, or I'll buy you something or whatever, and then you let her go her way, or you
Hmm.
do what you do. I mean, you pay for it either way it goes, whether you paying cash or you paying gifts or whatever. That's basically that's what they're saying. This is trafficking, and it's bothersome, because that's what successful black men do all the time. And this
Hmm.
is the thing, that modern women have actually created this stupid flued out lifestyle, because that's what we do. You want to get flued out, and so you're telling me now, if I were to flew a chick out, and if I, let's say hypothetically, and let's talk about it real talk, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been in these situations. I've been in tech. Well, a lot of people don't know about me, and you know this, but I've been in tech sales for ever since I've been in YouTube. If I haven't been doing business coaching and developing, I've been doing tech sales in the background. So I've been making a six-figure salary for a very, very, very long time, right?
Hmm.
So in my dating situations, I've dated chicks and I've given them allowances, right? I've dated chicks, I've given them cars before I left the United States. Before I did, I've done that. And the thing that's bothering me is what they're saying is, if, and this is the thing that I think that really upsets me, is because they're doing everything to take away our power as men. So when we work hard, when we become masculine men, and we become
Hmm.
financial giants to where we can have it our way, if you're not going to do what we say, you got to go. So now that's considered trafficking, or I mean ex trafficking, or that's considered coercion. So yeah, okay, I'm paying your rent. If I say, baby, I need you over here Wednesday at 7:30 and cook my dinner, and if you ain't here at 7:30 and cook my dinner, I'm going to cut you off. I'm not paying your bills no more. I'm breaking up with you and leave. And all those women, they're going to be crying and hollering, "No, daddy, don't do it, daddy. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." But then I'm considered guilty for trafficking, because I'm saying I'm not going to pay your rent no more. Because what they're saying is he was coercing her by that lifestyle, because she wasn't. So let's be clear. She was a full-time girlfriend. She not did not do anything but play. She had one hit song, and then she did some little acting roles. She was a full-time girlfriend. She was a sugar baby. That's what she was. She was a full-time girlfriend. And so what they're saying is they're trying to make it seem like, well, if she didn't do what Diddy wanted to do, he was going to take away. You goddamn right I am. If you're not going to please, if I'm paying your bills, if I'm providing for you and your family, I'm taking you on trips, I got you this mansion across town, and if you're not doing what I want you to do, guess what? I'm going to fire you, and I'm going to get another chick on. And that's the reason why Diddy has always had so many different women, because when you're a successful man and you build yourself up, you get to have it your way. And that's what I'm trying to understand. Why are they trying to vilify and make this a bad thing when you become a successful man and you are a provider? And that's what providers do. We provide. And guess what? If you don't do what's right, we're going to break up with you. We're going to say, okay, go your business. But guess what? I'm taking my car back. I'm taking my house back. I'm taking my apartment back. I'm taking
But
your
but but
salary back.
but he did. But then Cole. uh, this the thing though. Why did Diddy stay? That's what I'm confused. Like, why did
That's
he just?
why
I
did
mean,
he why did he catch flight like we do?
after that video dropped,
Bro, I'm gonna
after the
tell you,
video that of him putting his hands on Cassie, I'm just like, bro, that's the death sentence right there, bro. You need to
bro,
get the hell
that is
on.
that's the nail in the coffin. And this is the reason why it's bothering me because if you look at the law, and I would love to go back and forth and debate with any legal eagle, any lawyer that's on the call, help me to understand. But when I look at the law and I dissect the law, right? There is a statute of limitations. Yes, he was wrong. They both was wrong. They were in a toxic relationship. 8 years ago, 8 years ago, he beat her. He was wrong for beating her. Guess what? If the cops was there right there, he should go to jail for domestic violence. He should go to
Mhm.
jail for beating her, not for the rest of his life. Yes, he was wrong for that. Yes, he should go to jail for simple battery, domestic violence against his girlfriend 8 years ago. But the statute of limitation for that is 5 years old. So that's why it's troubling to me is because they're saying, oh, he's guilty. Yeah, he's guilty for domestic violence 8 years ago, but not for ex trafficking right now. And this is the other thing too that's so freaking makes me so angry is she tried to extort him for $35 million and then he paid it. And this was supposed to go away. He paid it. He said, you know what? I don't want these issues. I don't want these troubles. He paid it. Because the thing is, she cheated on him with the with the um with the trainer. She
Mhm.
cheated on him with the trainer. She had babies. She got what, two babies by him. And this is the thing, like y'all, like modern women can't have it both ways. Okay, so all right, so let's talk about it for real. And this is why somebody has to really convince me because if he was so terrible, if he was going to kill her, why didn't he do that when all of that happened? Why didn't he? Why didn't he take her out of here when he cheated on her? Guess what he said? Okay, you know what? Bye. Because the reality of the situation is, from what I'm seeing on the outside looking in, is that Diddy wanted to have another baby, and she was like, "I don't want to have your baby." And so he was like, okay. So he started seeing the Asian chick, not not 50's ex-girlfriend, not the one from the Philippines, but the other Asian chick, the one that's in the same field I'm in tech sales. No, cybersecurity. So
Mhm.
she gave him the baby. And it's not like she couldn't have a baby because she had one from the broke dude from the trainer. And it's not like Diddy couldn't have any more kids because he had one with the chicken tech sales. What happened was that she just got to the point where she was like, okay, I don't want to do it no more. So he said, okay, they broke up, they left. It was over with. It was gone. Bye. So now, 8 years later, because now the Chad that you got with he broke. He can't get a job because he's sleeping with his clients' wives and girlfriends. He can't get a job. He's broke. You put a GoFundMe up because your husband is a loser. And this is what we talk about in the manosphere about making men the best version of themselves. Is that a woman can't get with a king, and you get used to a lifestyle, and then after you get to the used to his lifestyle, you want to go with some loser, and now you want to turn around and come back to us. It don't work that way. And so that's
Mhm.
the reason why I feel like Diddy was like, man, please go on by your business. That's over with. It's done. And also, by the law, if you go to an attorney will tell you the statute of limitation is 5 years when it comes to domestic violence. So he was guilty for that. And I'm thinking the same way he thinking, oh, okay, well, you know what? The statute of limitations is gone for that. They can't string me up. But then they put together this racketeering craziness because if you look at his lawyer, his lawyer says that there is one victim and 50 witnesses. And so they're trying to make it seem like he has these 60 or 50 or 60 different victims. No, it's that one woman, and then there's 50 other people that are witnesses. And they're trying to make it seem like it's more than what it is. And he has to have his day in court. But it's just so frustrating to me because it's just a blatant attack on masculinity and the black man specifically, which is the reason why I got up out of the United States. And I can't do it no more, man. Like anything like Faison Love said, he was like they vilify him having baby oil. Yeah, it's freaky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he do some change, he do some strange, he bisexual, whatever. But guess what? It's not a crime. And white men
Right.
have been bisexual more than anything. And white men are the reason why a lot of black men are bisexual because they used to AR word the black man, and they used to do it as a form of buck breaking. So they're the ones that injected that poison in our community in the first place, and then they're trying to vilify him for that propensity. But guess what? It's not illegal. for him to be homosexual, and it's not illegal for him to have baby oil. But it's the thing. It just really irritates me when you hear them talk about it like, "Oh, he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil." That's not 1,000 keys of crack cocaine. They're trying
Exactly.
to make it seem like it's illegal when it's not. It's like everything a
Exactly.
black man do is wrong. So that's it.
Mhm.
Had to get it off my chest, man.
No, they were trying to embarrass him, most definitely. Let me bring on Drew G. What you got to say about this, Drew?
Hey, salute, brothers. Salute, BMT.
What's up,
Salute,
Drew?
Edie Cole. Good to talk to you guys. Thank you for allowing me on the panel.
Yes, sir.
Just a little pushback on Edie Cole.
Let's talk about it.
Brother, we got to distinguish between a criminal lawsuit and a civil lawsuit.
Yes.
So Cassie won a civil lawsuit.
No, she
You're
didn't.
right. The statute of limitations was over. She won a civil lawsuit. That's why she was able to sue. It never went before a court of law saying, "Hey, we're going back to you getting beat up in this hotel." No, she won a civil lawsuit. That's a civil lawsuit she won. Just like Fred Goldman won a civil lawsuit against OJ after he won the criminal, Fred Goldman won a civil lawsuit against OJ Simpson. It's the same thing. So she won the money. He paid her off. That's bottom line there.
Okay.
That's what happened. Now, I do agree with you in reference to the baby oil. That had nothing to really do with what was going on. They just threw that in there too, embarrassing him. But we also got to realize too that what is Diddy being charged for? He's got 3 charges, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 charges, one of them is transporting prostitution. Now, in the
Mm-hmm.
United States, which state has the only has legal prostitution?
I think Nevada
That's right.
and
That's it.
Nevada is the only one that I know of there where it's legal.
Exactly.
In
So he's in
Atlanta.
California
And Atlanta too.
transporting
No,
prostitution.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So he's in California transporting prostitutes. So that's illegal. Bottom line, if you send a car to pick up some prostitutes, you transported prostitutes. If you send them across the county line or the state line to come over to California, you've broken the law. This is bottom line what it is.
So this is a question that I have about this because I wanted to get clarity from it. And I remember Sinful to P was in our community, and I really wish Sin was here with us because he could help me to understand. What I understood that X trafficking meant you were to receive financial gain from putting them on the blade. Or and from what I understand is that he didn't charge anything for the parties. He did not make them sell themselves and he received financial benefit. He was actually a client or a customer. So if that's the case, why don't they charge him for soliciting instead of, isn't it considered soliciting, right? When you pay for it? And that's what they call?
Yeah.
Soliciting is more like you looking for it, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. So why didn't they charge him for soliciting for sex instead of ex trafficking? Because he's not the one that's kidnapping. Because when you think he's not the one that's taking the person and making that person work for him, so that he can get their money.
Legal loophole. There's a legal loophole that the lawyers would try to poke through.
Yeah,
His
see that's
lawyers,
because that's what I'm trying to
because that,
understand. Like
that that law is specifically it's supposed to be for pimps.
exactly right. So he's not pimping. He's a he not he a trick. That's what I understood. That's why he is a customer. He's not the one that's putting them out there to make money from them. That's the reason why it's so frustrating because it's like they're trying to. That's why they're amplifying. It's easy to see that they're amplifying and making it something that it's not because the entire world always knows that if you were to take a person and you take them against their will and then you put them to work for you and then you send them out on the blade and then they bring back the money, then that would be the normal definition of trafficking from what I understood. But then I also know that yeah, if you were to hire a person of the night and you paid them, they normally lock you up for 24 hours and make you pay a fine because it's soliciting, not in
So
Can I
jail for the rest of your
interject?
life. Yes, sir.
there may be a possibility that he does get off of the sex trafficking,
Can
but
I get it?
there's
Can I
also
interject?
racketeering and also the transportation to engage in prostitution. So he may get off for the sex trafficking. That may be a possibility, but also there's another charge hanging out there that no one has really talked about. What is it's been mentioned that they found this there, but it's not been charged yet, and I think this charge will fall a little bit later. And this is
The
scratching off
guns.
of those serial numbers of those
Yeah.
weapons. That's going
This
to be a charge.
They're saying that it's the security team that he hired. They're saying that it's theirs and not
Oh,
Diddy's.
so they're gonna take that fall for Diddy?
That's what they're saying. We're gonna see what happened when they sent out the subpoena
Shoot.
to the owner of the company. We're gonna see if he's gonna take that charge for Diddy or not. We're gonna
No, there
find
ain't
out.
nobody gonna Diddy gonna take that charge because I'll be pointing my fingers right at him. It was all Diddy's guns. If it was in his room, that's Diddy's gun.
Yeah,
So that's another charge. The scratching off those serial numbers is a serious charge.
yeah. But I mean, T.I. had that same charge, and T.I. did what 48, 24 months, I think, and then he got out.
I
So
don't
I
know if it
think
was
I don't
for
think. I don't.
scratching off
Nah,
the
nah.
serial numbers, but I believe it was that
He
he
had to,
had
he
possession
didn't
of
do no 24
automatic
months.
weapons.
was
Don't
it
be.
check it because I check it out because I remember if memory serves me correct, he was in LA and he had the weapons on him and the serial numbers were scratched off and it was like a felon with possession as well as the serial numbers were scratched off. He did some time I can't even remember because what's the album came out? That man, what's the name of that album came out when right when he came? I'm about to Google it right now.
Also, I'm going to correct myself too. I said that Nevada, the entire state, has legal prostitution. It's only in a certain counties that the legal prostitution exists. So I stand corrected. It's not Clark County, which is where Las Vegas, the Strip, and everything is. It's illegal there. But bottom line, if you send a car or you send an airplane to transport someone across the country, that's not fluing somebody out. That you're transporting this chick all the way out here, to do this. What is it called? The whatever he's doing at his house.
The freak offs. All
Yeah,
right,
the
so
freak
check
offs.
this out, Aaron. So it said that Grammy Award winning rapper T.I. was sentenced to a year and a day in prison for illegally possession of machine guns and silencers,
Yeah,
and possession of lauded anti-violent advocate, something like that, blah blah. But yeah, it was a year and a day.
yeah, but it wasn't scratched off. That's the
Okay,
key. That's the key. That's just the same thing as now you have. I mean, the laws are ever changing, but you got to think it's the same thing as now you got the little switches. If you're in possession of a switch to go on the back of a Glock that makes it fire super fast, you're going to jail for a super long time. So, I mean, the law, especially anything with dealing with weapons, is going to be ever changing. But if you scratch off a serial number, you're definitely going in. That's no ifs,
All right.
ands, buts. Ain't nobody going to claim that gun. It's at Diddy's house. That's Diddy's gun.
yeah.
I just dropped the Man Act in the chat, guys. So you want to take a look at it.
Yeah, that
Go
was
ahead,
for
Black Clear.
Jack Johnson, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention about the Mann Act, and that's pretty much what they're trying to hit him with. Because yeah, Jack Johnson was with the white girls, and they didn't like
Who's that
that,
other
so they
brother that's on the
created
panel?
that. Say
Hmm.
that again. With the white girls, and they didn't like that, so
Oh,
they
you got hold
created
on. You got
that.
an echo, Black Cleaner.
All right, I'll get off.
All right. Go ahead, Drew. You were saying something? Okay. Dean, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I was trying to press mute because I had some noise going on in the background, so I was trying
Uh,
to mute it up. I'm still here.
I just don't understand why these guys have all this money, man. And they don't apply, you know, that passport to. Because I mean, this has been going on for the last 2 years with Diddy, ain't it?
It's true. Yeah, it's
True.
true. Like I think it's that idea that they are bigger than the law. I think that has a lot to do with it too. They feel like they are like Donald Trump. They the Teflon done. I guess they see people doing stuff like Donald Trump. He doing things and he don't never get in trouble, so they feel like they could, but they don't have the skin persuasion for the same type of leeway that he gets, and that's
Yeah.
the problem that they run in the same circles. Diddy and Trump, they Diddy been to all of Trump's party and vice versa. But the problem is Diddy is a black man that's a real billionaire, whereas Donald Trump is a white man that's a fake billionaire. And unfortunately, he became the president of the United States of America. So now he has another um tick on his belt to where he feels like he is untouchable. And I think like the rule should be like I was watching a interview that Diddy did today, which I thought was so poignant when he was talking about Ciroc. He said that corporate America was made for Caucasian men. It was never made for us. It was the system is made for Caucasian men. And unfortunately, when you get into those realms, when you're like P. Diddy and you're like Russell Simmons and you're like R. Kelly, when you are high class, you think that the rules are the same, but unfortunately they're not, because at the end of the day, you're just gonna be like Kanye said, uh, I can't the N word in the bins at the end of the day. So this is his reality check that because you are right, like most of the time, they'll give you your due process. Like how in the world they gonna let Harvey Weinstein get a bail, but they're not gonna let Diddy get a bail? Especially
because Harvey Weinstein didn't contact any of the witnesses. Diddy was out there trying to contact people. That's what even Gene Deal said, that somebody contacted him via Diddy that, hey, stop the videos. Diddy
yeah.
was out there trying to contact whoever he could to persuade witnesses. Let's also too not forget that, yeah, his bond was $50 million. That's what he proposed to put up. But realistically, he's only paying 10% of that, which is $5 million for the
Well, no, that's
bond.
if you go with the bonding company. That was the reason why he actually had to pay it, because they were actually seizing his actual his real property. That's why he actually paid off his property on Star Island so that he could go ahead and mortgage it, because no, he was going through if you go through a bonding company, then you only have to pay a percentage. However, this is the thing, if you look at the terms of house arrest, there's no reason why a judge couldn't say, okay, you know what, you think that he's going to intimidate witnesses, then let's put him on 24-hour surveillance. And guess who has to pay for that? Diddy will pay for that. And when you put him on that 24-hour surveillance, then they're gonna check your devices, and they're gonna make sure that you have a log of the people you see, because you are able to bond out. That's why they presented the package of all the stipulations, so that you don't have to be behind bars and be a animal in chains. You can go on house arrest, and you can still have certain provisions to where you're not going to see or deal with other witnesses. Matter of fact, the attorney for Trump, he was on house arrest. He did his whole bid from his penthouse in New York. What was his Cohen? Is that his name? Was it Cohen? Richard
Yeah.
Cohen? Cohen did his whole bid. He did a whole federal time in his luxury penthouse suite. And
But that was during COVID, right?
No, I mean, jails were still there. They still had prisons during
No,
COVID.
but they mostly put a lot of people in house arrest during COVID times, though.
There's
really
a whole bunch of people that didn't get put on house arrest during COVID. Especially, that's the reason why in Alabama they were so concerned about COVID spreading, because of how treacherous the situations were. The fact of the matter is that he had some people that worked the system for him. It wasn't because of COVID that was the reason why he had house arrest. It was because he was Cohen, and he was Trump's lawyer, and he had federal time, and it wasn't and he had the grace given to him. And that's what I'm just asking that they give the same type of grace to Diddy, because you don't have to, because the same way you can intimidate somebody, the same way you stop somebody and monitor their phone calls in jail, you can do the same thing outside, especially when the attorney is stating that we'll even restrict his access to the internet. Like the attorney is saying, whatever you ask judge, we will do, and he's complying along with it.
How do you restrict somebody from writing a letter and passing it to someone and tell them to go do what's in the letter?
What you do is you tell them that you're going to revoke their bond, and then you're going to lock them up, and you give them a chance to where they're innocent until proven guilty. Because guess what? He is still innocent of these charges. And so because he's still innocent of those
Good
charges,
point.
that's the reason why you give him that grace. And that's why you have 24-hour security to make sure that they don't do that. And so I don't know, like when you go through the process of going to jail and being locked up, and you're confined to a room that's the size of your bathroom, you're being punished at that point. But that's the reason why they allow you to have a bond, especially when you have something that's non-violent. It's because it's past the statute of limitation. Now I understand they're saying that he did witness intimidation or tampering. That's a slippery slope, because they have to argue the fact, because guess what, the woman's husband that they're talking about does business with Diddy. I make 120 phone calls a day. I don't know how many times I call the same person, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying. But when you're doing business with somebody, you have to understand. So that's the reason why he said he removed himself from all business dealings, and he would just regulate himself to the rules of the judge when you're on house arrest.
Oh no, I kind of think that I think that with his amount of money that Diddy has, that they would have been reasonable with him, but he's too big of a threat in their eyes. Already with the witness tampering, but also one person said something, and I caught this earlier. They're like, anytime you have somebody who flies in on their personal jet to come turn themselves in, they're automatically gonna get their like that bail revoked. He said
So
if he
how
would
come
came in
Harvey
any other way, like
Weinstein?
drove
So
in or something.
Harvey Weinstein flew in on Delta.
I don't know how Harvey Weinstein came in, but we do know that Diddy came in on a private jet. I can't confirm how Harvey Weinstein flew in, but we do know for sure 100% that Diddy came in on a private jet.
Okay, so do you think Harvey Weinstein came in on Spirit?
Probably first class American Airlines.
I'm pretty sure he came in on his private jet, my man.
I don't know.
He got you there, Drew. Hey, I don't know about
I really don't know,
international
though.
brother
I
to the
can't
show.
confirm or deny it.
International, you there? International. All right. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly I don't see anything unfair with this. I mean, man, this I feel sorry for Diddy. I truly do. But you know, the court of public opinion is against him right now.
That's
Which,
true.
you know, that's just what we're looking at. Cassie, everybody can talk about Cassie, but Cassie has nothing to do with this right now. Zero. So
Well, she does, because this didn't come up.
witness?
Of course she is. They said that they say that
Absolutely.
she is the number one. She is the number one. She's the star witness for
Absolutely.
the states.
She can certainly speak to prostitutes coming in across lines. She can also speak to maybe racketeering and the other charge of solicitation. So she can speak to all three of those, because according to them, he would make her go solicit some male to come in and have, you know, sex with her in front of him. So that they got the star witness right there.
Yeah, so she's definitely plays a big role in it, and the reason why it's so frustrating is that, you know, he was free of that toxic relationship. Like he was stuck in that cycle with her, and he got free from it, and he moved on, got with another woman, a younger woman, had his baby, beautiful little girl that he wanted to have, and he was living his life. So like that's the thing. It's like white men, they get a chance to have a bad past or a troubled past, but it's like once a black man has a bad past or a troubled past, that's the way he is, and they label him that for the rest of his life. And
but did Donald Trump have a troubled past when the Stormy Daniels came back?
Did he have a troubled past? All right, say that again.
So Donald Trump had a prostitute come back on him, right? Or an adult entertainer come back on him. So he had a troubled past, right?
No, because it was part of his
troubled past.
I guess I'm trying to understand. All right, okay. So the argument that I'm trying to make is, and help me to understand, because I'm really trying to understand this. So the statement that I made was, Caucasian men are able to have a troubled past, and when they have a troubled past and they overcome that, then what they'll just say is they had a troubled past that's in the past. And that's the reason why it's frustrating, because they're trying to make it seem as if he beat Cassie yesterday when it was 8 years ago. Like he moved on.
The thing. I think this is my frustration, is that we keep bringing up Cassie.
She is the one that did this.
No, yeah, of course, she brought out the civil lawsuit. But the thing about it is that you keep bringing it up because it's fresh in your mind, because it happened this same year. This same year was the civil lawsuit. Cassie won her civil lawsuit. She got paid.
Well, no, she didn't win it. Let's clarify that. She did not win it because it did not go before a judge and it did not go before a jury.
He settled it.
He settled out of court. So he didn't win it. He just chose not to fight it, and he chose to pay her instead of fighting it.
Okay, I would agree with you. That's semantics, but I would call it a W in Cassidy's column.
Yeah, it is. She got $30 million, yeah. and she got to ruin his life, which is what she wanted to do anyway.
Yeah, she won.
Yeah, she did. She did. She got the $30 million, and she also is ruining his life, because this is for the rest of his life. That's the reason why I wouldn't be so upset if the charges fit. If they said, okay, you go to jail for soliciting prostitution because that's what you did. Okay, send them to jail for that. If they say, okay, you know what, you go to jail for domestic violence, which is what, 48 months, which is the maximum. Okay, but when you're trying to say that when you say that this billionaire who came from nothing as a black man, he created this $1 billion enterprise, and that now this $1 billion enterprise that he created is now tainted because of one bad relationship that he had with this woman. Because it wasn't until he got with her, because they said reportedly that the freak off started 2 years after they got into a relationship. I would beg to differ that she's the one that planted that seed to get that into his system,
I don't
which
think
is the
so
reason why they
because
had that.
really everybody's saying that a lot of this started before her with the baby mama Kim.
Well,
So
let's talk. So
if you
if you
look
look
at
at the lawsuit, the
there was
lawsuit
a book
said,
there was a book that was just released today that was based on Kim's life, and I would highly recommend you to hear some of the excerpts that just came out of that book about how Diddy would have her in threesomes or with multiple partners. Also, Diddy also required her to put on a strap on, different things like that. So her and Diddy had a very toxic relationship. They had multiple kids together. She has kids. I think she has a kid with Al Bashir too. So that's one of the kids Diddy
so
raised.
this is my question to you: is how is
Yes.
it that she's passed away, but she's released a book today and she wrote this book? This is all based
She had
off
her
of
diary.
hearsay. This is all based off of
Bro,
hearsay and
how's it? But
secondhand.
that's not, bro. Whoa, bro. That's not illegal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying that it's legal. We're talking about toxicity. We didn't say anything about illegal. He said that Cassie brought the toxicity to Diddy. I said, I don't believe that. I believe Diddy had this toxicity prior to meeting Cassidy.
And I was
Remember,
looking at,
Cassie is a young girl when she meets Diddy. She
yeah.
has no idea of all of this other
Plus, it's
stuff.
just
She's just
bedroom
trying to
talk,
get a
man.
deal. She's trying to sing.
Like, you ain't
She's
even.
trying to sing and get a deal. That's it. Diddy's the more experienced person. Diddy's the more person that's been around. He's
How's
been
that?
around the
That's
world.
not.
And
Is that toxic? Doing freaky shit is toxic.
Well,
No, but what I'm
I'll say
saying.
this. This
Go
is
ahead.
what I will say to you, my brother. I have, like I mentioned, I've been successful for a very long time, and I've had different type of interesting relationships with young ladies where finances were involved. I've had a 20-year-old ask me if I would be her dom, and I've had a 20-year-old, and I said, "Girl, what you know about BDSM?"
I
A
mean, she was dating Ryan
20-year-old.
Leslie, so she wasn't innocent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I had a 20-year-old try to introduce me being a master to her. And I said, what do you know about being a submissive, and what do you know about being a pet? Because BDSM has a whole different lifestyle, and the kink has a whole different lifestyle that's all within its own. And most of the time, a submissive will go and choose who they want their master to be. So that being said, most of the time, I'm not saying that that's the scenario that they had in their relationship, but what I will say is that oftentimes that it's not the I don't like the idea that Cassie was this innocent little girl that didn't like to trib with other women, and that she didn't like to get a train ran on her, and she didn't have those fantasies like a lot of these young girls do, a lot of women do, especially a lot of the younger ones do, especially the ones that are attracted to older men. There's a reason why they're attracted to us. And so I just don't like the idea that she was this sweet little innocent little girl, and she had nothing to do, and then Diddy just came and he just
Turned her
came and
out.
he turned her out, and she's been that way for 10 years, when she was the one that cheated on him, had 2 kids with somebody else, and got with a loser. If she was so
Oh
happy in
shit.
that situation, she should have left and been happy, got with the loser, had her 2 kids, and lived in the country.
I don't understand how Cassie could cheat on somebody when she. I guess it's cheating because he doesn't get to watch.
No, it's cheating because it's against the rules. When you have a relationship, you have rules to the relationship. So as long as, most of the time when you have multiple partners, you have rules. And once you break those rules, and you're right, if the rule is I have to watch, then you're cheating when you're with that third person or that other person, and it's not in considered our relationship. That's how a lot of polygamous and polygamous relationships work most of the time. And also, a lot of times the situation goes where a gentleman like Diddy has a king's appetite. So a king is going to have multiple different concubines, but a queen doesn't have them. And oftentimes, when you're in that type of situation, the king is the ones that you're faithful to him, whereas he is faithful to his kingdom. So that's how it is most of the time. It's not, men and women are not equal, especially in dynamics like this.
Yeah, man, I tell you, it's way beyond my pay scale. So, you know, I wish I could have that appetite.
Yeah. So, but the point,
the people go hard, man. Like people like Diddy with that type of personality, that go getter, especially being, and D Cone knows this. When you're an entrepreneur, man, especially a black entrepreneur, you got to go above and beyond. And it
yes,
creates this certain personality. Like it's almost like I can't even have a conversation about business with a person that's not an entrepreneur, because when I try to have a conversation with somebody that's comfortable with a 9 to 5, it's like it's limited,
they don't
right?
get it.
And if you do a business with them, it's like, well, wait a minute. I was in this for 7 months. I'm not rich yet. I'm like, dude, this shit might take 10 years. Like, do you realize what you it's like?
Exactly.
So when you got somebody like a Diddy who's been ups and downs and went through West Coast, East Coast beefs and association with, murder of high profile celebrities and shit, his personality is going to be more, he's going to require more. Like he's seen more, he's done more. So he has this overt like personality, almost like the guy from Breaking Bad, like Walter White. Like these certain characters kind of grow inside of you. And we're looking at it from the outside looking in, like, oh, he got 1,000 bottles of lotion in this. He's low-key crazy, bro. Because you got to be a form of craziness to even be successful as a black entrepreneur. Nobody gives us money like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos' dad gives him $2 million. Donald Trump dad gave him 20 million. Like from us, from the ground floor up organically, it's going to turn you crazy. I promise you, because everybody's going to deceive you, lie to you, destroy you, come back for you. People that are going at Diddy like Gene Deal and all them, these are people he thought was once his friend, bro.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not giving this to Diddy to be an excuse. I'm just giving you, like, this is not the average individual that you're talking about. This dude is a live wire. He's crazy beyond crazy, possibly.
Yeah.
So,
and also to fact check something, Drew, I wanted to make sure. They stated that Diddy and Cassie got together officially in 2007, right? In Cassie's lawsuit, in her civil case, she alleged that the freak off started 2009. So, like I mentioned, it was 2 years after they got together was when he started introducing her to the quote unquote freak offs. So I know you said that his ex, Kim Porter, somebody, there's a friend of a friend of a friend said that they wrote a book about, different diaries and different things along those lines. But as far as, once again, it didn't start until after he got with her.
Yeah, these are the pages of Kim's diary that that was just released. So I think it just got released on Amazon, and I just heard it. Some of the excerpts read from it, which she talks about, some of the things that Diddy had her doing. Girl on girl type stuff, which she's like, I didn't, I never liked it, but I did it because of him. Just different stuff. So
now, and that's another thing that I want to say. Like, women got to stop that. Okay, right? I'm a handsome guy. If I wanted to become a male model, guess what? In order for me to be a male model, I'm gonna have to hang around people in the LGBT community, right? If I'm with somebody that hits on me that I don't like, guess what? I can say no and not be a male model. I can't call a victim and say, well, he made me do it. No, you can say no. Like, y'all gotta, like, they have to stop saying he made you. No, he asked you to do it. You said you wanted to do it. Stop acting like he put a gun to your head and said, no, you wanted to be the princess. You wanted to be next to Diddy. In order to be next to Diddy, that means you had to do something strange with Sarah, Lisa, John, and Jimmy. And guess what? If you don't want to do it, it's 18 other chicks that will take your place in a heartbeat, and you know that. And so because you know that, you chose to stay. It's not that and I'm telling you this from a first person's perspective. I'm telling you this. When you are a man that have a certain taste or you have a certain standard, right? This is exactly what you say to me. If you don't want to do it, guess what? Somebody else will. Because I've had a woman tell me, I never forget this. This is really what made me feel like this is just I hate that this is an attack on successful men, because we work ourselves up to get to the point where we can have it our way. I had this young lady. I had flew her over from New Orleans. Her whole family, Christmas, the whole nine. She got furs. My daughter got furs. Everybody got furs. My whole family's in town. Big old 8,000 square foot house. I live around the corner from Portia from Real Housewives of Atlanta. We in the house. We doing our thing. My dumb ass. I proposed to her. Sorry for curse. My silly self. I proposed to her. Proposed to her on Christmas. My daughter recording it. It's all wonderful. It's great. This, that, and the third. So after Christmas comes by and her family sees this lifestyle and she sees this lifestyle, she's never had a Christmas like this before. 2 months later, she's scrolling through her phone and she's telling me this dude that she's talking to from her back home in Louisiana. And I told her, I said, I'm uncomfortable with you doing that. I don't want you talking to him. And so she was like, well, this is just my friend. I said, okay, I understand that's your friend, but you're not going to be talking to him no more. You with me, we're engaged. This is what it is. This, then the third. And so we got into this big old argument, and I said, you know what? This ain't gonna work. You know, I'm sorry. Let's just part our ways. Her ring was 20 grand. She was like, well, I'm gonna take my ring. I'm gonna keep my ring. I said, why are you gonna keep your ring if you're not with me for the money? And so then she reluctantly gave me the ring, and then she said, you know what? If I'm going down, I'm gonna take you down with me. And I said to her, how are you gonna take me down? You're not my wife, and you're not the mother of any of my kids. And she was like, and that's the mindset that this woman had. Okay, the mindset that I put $20,000 on her wrist, on her finger, show her this wonderful lifestyle, and she said in her mind she was going down, because the reality is she was going down from the lifestyle that I had. And so she said, if I'm gonna take you to, but I thank God that I was smart enough, wise enough, they ain't do nothing crazy. I got on the phone with everybody. She started trying to tear the house up, this and the third. I got everybody. I'm like, look. I had my assistant come over. I'm like, look, I got witnesses, because I've dealt with these women that try to be, because they're beautiful and they're cute and they're sweet and they're wonderful until they can't have their way. Then they turn into brats, and then now you're the villain.
Facts. But here's the thing, Edie Cole. You know, this is one thing I salute you for, is that you had created boundaries. So yeah, the boundary was crossed. And you went and stood on
so
that.
Let's talk about it. So Diddy's boundaries is if you don't go and suck my man off, and my other boundary is if you don't go and play with him over in the corner, you don't get to stay. And the reality is, if you want to stay, you do what I say. If you don't, then you go about your way, and that's okay. But you can't.
I don't know if that's a boundary, though.
That's what he had.
I don't really think we're asking the right questions or speaking the right conversation.
Hold on for a second, boss. We're gonna let you talk. But let us finish this little back and forth. But in his relationship, those were the boundaries and the rules that he had. And like you said, Kim said, and this is based on the words that I heard you say. I heard you say, he made me. No, he didn't make you. He wanted you to do it. And if you didn't do it, he was going to replace you with somebody else that would. And that's just how it goes. And you can't say that he made you when he did it. Women can't say that he made you because he did it. That's what you chose to do. If that's what you want to do, then that's what it takes. If you don't want to do it, then don't. That's just like me. Like for instance, I literally have to make 150 phone calls in order to keep the salary that I have. I don't want to make those phone calls every single day. I can't say, well, they make me know. For me, exchanging me making these 150 phone calls a day, I get this 6-figure salary, and I get to live anywhere in the world and live like a king. So it comes with the responsibilities of the position. And so the same thing is, if this man wanted you to please him sexually and it required you to do these other things, he didn't make you. You chose to do it. You knew the consequences and you weighed the options and you said, I'd rather live this lifestyle. But then when it gets to that point, you can't turn around and vilify him for the choice that you made. And these modern women need to stop doing that. And more men need to stand 10 toes down and say, look, you have a choice. If you either do this or get replaced. Because that's what Diddy did. He replaced her. For the past 8-10 years, he ain't heard nothing about Cassie. He ain't harassed her. He ain't talked to her. She went on about her business, being with that loser, and he got with Diddy with 50 ex baby mama, and got with the beautiful young Philip Thai chick that's in tech sales. He lived and moved on. Like he's not harassed. Like he wasn't outside her house saying, I'm gonna kill you, come back to me. Because that's not what it was. But
can I add something to the? Yeah, I want to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to BMT.
What's good?
Yeah, I want to add something. Hey, it's very interesting. What can passport bros or men, period, learn from it? I know what we talk about, what woulda, coulda, shoulda, and women need to stop. But let's just talk about the reality. women ain't going to stop. That's
That's true.
stupid. Why would they stop? Right? That would be a stupid thing to stop. Why would it be accountability? Why would I hold myself accountable when I cannot hold myself accountable and receive laurels and receive rewards? And other men are going to simp for me. Other men are going to come up and say, oh, well, she was young and all she wanted to do was sing and she never seen anything. She was just an innocent young girl. Don't know nothing about her. But people are going to assume that about her. They're going to project that onto her. So therefore, she's going to play into that role and that's going to favor her because it's going to absolve her from her own actions, her own secrets, her own dark fantasies. Because people aren't going to see, they're not going to see that. Sweet spice and everything nice. That's what most guys and most people think about women. So they're not going to take that position because it just doesn't make any sense for them to do it. Why? For justice? For morality? For ethics? We're talking about survival and thrival. And so I think it's more important for you just to learn the lesson. You're not a high value man, you're a high value target. And you have to move accordingly.
Ooh, bars.
That was bars, bro. You say that again. Drop one of
Bars.
Clues bombs. BFT, you got some sound effects. Drop one of Clues
Man,
bombs for
I
that.
need
Yo,
some
that was
sound
good.
effects, man. I've been waiting on my one-on-one with 020, man, but we can't. What's going on with it, man?
You're not a high
That's good.
value
That's
man. You're a
good.
high value target. In the United States
Better
of
know.
America, I would say that's true.
Better
Outside
know.
being a citizen of the world, I definitely would say that's true. And that's why
Yeah,
it bothers me and frustrates me so much because what you're saying is very, very accurate. The only thing we can try to do is protect ourselves. And the way that we were taught to protect
There you go.
ourselves is become high value men. But like you said, in the United States of America, we're not high value men, we're high value targets.
High value targets in. Again, I don't want to, jock that. That's Coach Greg Adams all day. But net at the end of the day, if you just sit back and you look at the landscape, and then what I also say is beware also when you go overseas. It's reduced greatly for sure, because things like age dating is a norm. You understand? People are in constructs of development and survival, so they don't shame their head or shun that like they do in America. You dig?
Bro,
And so
I saw the day. I don't mean to interrupt you, O2, but I saw like some
go ahead.
comments. It was a guy. He was 28 talking to a 23-year-old, and they were just like, "Oh, she's a baby. You sicko."
Man,
I'm like 28 and 23. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
damn. I'm afraid to tell you
mate
how old my
garden.
girlfriend is. Shit.
that's crazy.
That's mate garden. That's dirty macking. That's all they doing, dirty macking. So right, they're
They just
probably up in
vilify.
age,
What
and they're going to
they,
dirty mack it and vilify it because
they've
it's
done
in
so
their
brilliantly,
imperative to do that.
what they've done so brilliantly in America, and I don't know why we fell for it, was they've made their value last longer by shaming, men
Exactly.
dating younger.
And watch this BMT. It's not
Facts.
the only place. I see that happening in the Middle East. I see Middle Eastern kids that are younger. They believe in polygamy, and then the younger generation being told by their sisters, their mothers, and just girls that they know, younger generations also, that no, I'm not going to have more than one wife. One is like 6 to me. I have a problem with dealing with one, so let alone 6 or 3. I couldn't do what my uncle did. And so they just shame, guilt, insult, and then they'll get you where you need to
And the
be.
need to be right.
So it just
Yep.
takes some time. No, and they'll get you where you need to be, right? It's not the need to be right. They'll get you where they need to be. And so it's
Can
a
I
very
add some
strategic tactic.
or
Go
can I
ahead.
add some to it? This Yoga shouts out
Yoga, what's
BMT.
up, man? What's up,
What's up,
Yoga?
Edine Cole?
I was just
Everybody
telling him
on the
about your
panel.
trip, man. Just telling him about your flight.
Yes. I have a question for you, Edine.
Yes, sir.
Cole. I see what you were saying, how and I see it going on. Like Tiger Woods' girlfriend tried to sue him because he wanted to put her out the house and didn't want the relationship
Exactly.
anymore. So I see what you're saying, and they're coming at the brothers like that. They're coming at melanated black men um, from the Western world like that. If you're on that $1 million status, or if you got the publicly people know you got a lot of money. We saw that happen to Michael Irvin, the NFL Hall of Famer, Dallas Cowboys,
Yep.
ESPN guy. He
That white
going, he
woman
after
in
the game, he going over to the steakhouse in the hotel. The white girl that's a waiter in the hotel see, oh, that's Michael Irvin. I'm about to put a case on him real quick. Walk, bump into him, and then say he did all this sexual stuff, and he just literally turned the corner. Somebody bumped into him, and he said, "Excuse me," and kept on going and went to the restaurant.
Yep.
So I see what you're saying, Edine Cole, from that
If it wasn't
aspect.
for that camera, if it wasn't for the camera
Yeah,
footage,
he would have
they
been
would have
messed up.
strung him up. It would have strung
Yeah,
him
his
up.
word against the white girl word. Now this is the aspect I want to bring into it. We saying, or you're bringing it from the perspective of because they got money. What about the perspective of because they're brothers, because they're black men, because all of this is happening to all of the wealthy, famous, well-known, prestigious black men from Bill Cosby and coming on down. And we can even go back further to Jack Johnson, the first heavyweight champion of the world in boxing, the black brother who had a white wife. And that's what I want to bring in. That aspect, the Jack Johnson aspect, the first black heavyweight, the turn of the century, had a white wife, and they did Jack Johnson the same. So I want to bring this back around. I think all of it, the main reason is not that they're targeted, not because they're successful. I think the main reason is goes back to Caucasian white man jealousy, but they're not putting a face on it. They're attacking all of the wealthy black men that can have their way sexually with all flavors of the woman, and especially the Caucasian woman. And I think that's what's ultimately at the end of the day that we see this whole red pill movement. The whole red pill movement on the internet was started by this grown up white man that felt like the NBA players, the football players, the major league players, the guys like Deion Sanders from the 80s and 90s, all the white women sitting back and watching us on TV and BET and had 20 years of that. Now all the white women want a brother with some swag or a well-to-do brother that went to college. And the white men don't like that. And it's the same red pill movement that started first with those white men. I think it's retaliation from racism, because overall the black American man has been images all on TV now in America. We all on the media, and it's being projected over the world. So it's making all the women want to, at the end of the day, get a taste of chocolate, black American chocolate, and they know that. So all of the brothers who have free range and all these women that want them, the white men are not putting their face on it, but these attacks are coming through them, through the judicial system, through the entertainment agencies, through the entertainment companies, the record label companies, the Hollywood companies, and the handlers. You got to think, Puffy was on the Clive Davis, Bill Cosby was on the white folks at NBC. All these same conglomerates are all media moguls, but none of the top tier white guys get attached to this. But we know that Bill Cosby wasn't having them free calls, Puffy and all them ain't having them free calls without them white folks that they signed to checking off on it. And we see how they move and with all this Disney stuff and this kid stuff now. So I think it's a retaliation from white men being mad that now sexually the whole world know that the black American men are wanted sexually, and it's retaliation. And we got to look at the rest of the brothers who got them type of millions. They coming for them because that's what it, because they propped them up. None of them was independent also. So I'm gonna land the plane there.
I think also we got.
Go ahead, I want to see what he had to say about that, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Double O.
No, international or whoever. I'm gonna hold it.
No, go ahead, Joe. On my bad.
I'm gonna have to push back on all of this really, because, in my opinion, one thing, Diddy himself has more supposed, just to be fair, supposed skeleton in his closet more than Casey and this whole Rico Casey got going on. So let's put it out there for one thing. Two, y'all talking about successful black men, but it's always successful black men in entertainment that seems to be a little bit more reckless when it came to their success. Because I don't hear, let's say, pound for pound, I'll be surprised if Obama gets this treatment. Let's be honest. And three, how this relates to Passport Bros, in my opinion, it shouldn't really, because I know for a fact that, things are getting crazy with the
Diddy should have went to Bali. That's how it relates to Passport Bros. Diddy should have did the Russell Simmons and got that passport stuff and went on with the Bali after he paid Cassidy. The day after he spent the check to Cassidy, he was supposed to be gone.
Yeah, listen to me. That's what he should have did. He should have been gone.
Yeah, he's literally sitting in one of the worst prisons in New York right now. I'm talking about terrible. His
The
lawyers saying
day
how
when
bad
I
it is
saw
in
the
there.
Cassie lawsuit, I said it. I thought
Hold on,
about
yo.
R. Kelly. I said, go to Bali right now. Get on the
Right,
plane or drive to Canada from New York. Drive over the border so they don't know
right,
a bit,
right. Yeah,
and
hold
then
on.
get on.
You gotta let me finish my point, Yoga. You just jumping all up in there, brother. But
Yeah.
no. What I'm saying is, like, why would you stay, bro? Like, it makes no. And I'm thinking what E. Dean Cole said earlier. It's like these guys honestly believe what their lawyers tell them. Say, no, stay puffy. We're gonna fight this. This, that, and the other. Because they slick as a cat as all them high powered
About to get
lawyers.
that money.
Yep.
Yeah, they blood suckers, right? So I'm sitting here like, man, you should have been more aware of what you knew was going to come. He knew about the video, obviously.
Yeah.
Was going. They had that leverage on him the whole time. He knew about it. So
And he should have been smart.
yeah,
I honestly
anticipating
thought
that video drop, anticipating him being a black man, being wealthy, anticipating that he's suing major liquor companies like Diego and everything. He should have been like, you know what? Let me go international, take my private jet, take my ass to Bali or whatever with Russell, and fight this from afar.
From
If
afar.
fight it at
Yeah.
all.
There
I
you go, fighting
honestly,
from afar.
I honestly thought that he was gonna, since he was in Miami and he had a little house on Star Island, I honestly thought he was gonna take a cigar boat over to Cuba. 90 miles, he would have been there in no time.
Listen
And
to
then,
me. Straight. That's what he should have did.
I don't
I
understand.
thought he was gonna be in Cuba.
Yeah.
I said, oh man, he's in Miami. He can get to Cuba. He don't even have to file a flight
Yeah.
plan.
And-
Jump on a boat. He's there.
And I want to say this too. Like, y'all guys got to be very careful because women want y'all to be like them and have no law and order when it comes down to what they're doing. See, they changed the game on y'all. It used to be like law and order to an extent, but now they could just say a couple words like believe all women and break law. You don't need no court. You don't need no trial. Tell me 3 words like, oh, he did this. He raped me. That a man could say that do the same to women. It's nothing.
Brother,
They could say a couple of words. You go ahead.
No. Go ahead, finish.
I said they could say a couple words and you're locked up, my man. And so with that being said, you got to make that observation and to decide what you're going to strategize as. Now, P. Diddy, he's innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah.
Be a man. Don't get caught up in gossip. Don't get caught up in being a little trivial conspiracy theorist talking about, oh man, his bodyguard said this and he said he got the videos. How many years he said he had that video? Where it at? Show me it. Black and white. Come on. Or color, whatever. Show me the CCTV. And people don't got it. So innocent until proven guilty. I'm not against him or I'm not for him. I'm just pro-law. It's a process. Let's air it out and see what's going on. Or are we going to be the Roman lynch mob and mob the guy out before he even get trial?
Well, I'll
It's
say
ridiculous.
I'm 100% for him. I'm 100% for him. I believe that based on how his lifestyle is and how he's been living, I believe that he had a toxic relationship that he got out of. He got himself together. He got far away from her and far away from that situation. And now she's coming back and trying to wreck his life. And it's unfortunate. Like I said, if the charges were what they should be, like I said, if the charges were 48 months for domestic violence, even though the statute of limitations for that is 5 years, not 8, I believe that that'll be fine. If they said, okay, then we're going to charge you for soliciting a prostitute, and the charges for that is what I think is a fine or the maximum in jail. I don't know. I think a year or something. Matter of fact, let me look and see what the maximum is for soliciting prostitution. That would be fine. But my issue that I have is they're trying to make it something more than what it is and give this man life in prison and trying to say that his entire billion-dollar corporation that he built from scratch is now worth nothing. That's the thing that's insulting to me because how it takes so much to make something of yourself, especially as a black man. So now you're saying everything that he has created is now a criminal enterprise, and now is going to be
based off of freak offs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you see how they took Suge Knight's money?
Yep.
On the default.
I was going to say this too, which I didn't peep too, is most people will be like, oh, that's crazy. No, I'm just saying that's what I would do. But one thing you don't peep is Ye too. Ye had his joints going up, right? He made some mistakes, obviously, when he came out and said some things. But when that happened, guess what Nike did? Hit him with that $75 million expense budget for his marketing. Now, they had that the whole time, but they were just waiting. It's the same thing we do with distressed properties and real estate. You know what I'm saying? You wait until the competitor has an issue. You wait until a competitor has a lack of liquid funds, and then you attack them. You hit them with the payables. You hit them with things that you need to hit them in order to get what? him to hit the back, circle the block, say, hey, man, I'm in a bind. I'm in a position. How about I sell everything to you 30 cents on the dollar? Checkmate.
In New York,
Good point.
solicitation of prostitution is generally a Class A misdemeanor, which can result in up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. If they charge them for that, then okay, I'm all right with that. But they're trying to take away everything and try to take $1 billion from this black man because he happened to be bisexual and he didn't want that to come out. So he paid this woman $30 million to try to stop it. And now they're
Oh,
trying to vilify this.
Okay,
okay,
Hold on,
but
hold on, Drew G. Hold on,
now,
hold on, Drew G. Hold on, guys.
Okay.
You know, I want to say something real quick, man. I think is the most corniest shit in the fucking world to have grown ass men like Gene Deal, all these other guys on these damn podcasts and interviews, because that's one thing we haven't spoke on, that element of this new thing called the internet, where you got former employees, dudes that used to work, that you used to pay, right? That's been all in your family house and broke bread with you, all of a sudden telling out all these little stories about you and all your bedroom business and shit. I think that's the corniest ish ever, especially for us brothers to be doing that shit.
I
You
agree.
know, like I'm just like insulted. Like as a man, you should be almost,
You be ashamed of yourself.
you should be ashamed of yourself to sit there and speak on a man's personal business. Now the whole Tupac Biggie thing, I understand that part. Like if Gene Deal would talk about what he feel like could have happened with Diddy being involved in that, I get it. But when you start talking about things like, oh man, I used to blow kisses at his mama, and you know his mama was out. Like when you start saying shit about people, family, and who you slept with or who he's sleeping with, and he did this with this guy, that shit corny, man. Don't nobody give a damn about what that man do in his personal life, bro.
But see, that's BMT. I
But
agree with
but
you
but
that,
but
we
but
have
because of that, this was brought about all this. It wasn't just the Cassidy, it was just all these damn interviews and all this proof basically, or witness proof that he's been doing all this shit for years, man.
but see, I think that
Like,
one of
no,
the things we
man,
have to realize
I gotta have to
is
push
that
back hard on that, man. Like Diddy had like a dark reputation of him even before what Gene Deal pushed out. Like the bad.
What rich motherfucker don't have a garbage? I have yet to meet a rich motherfucker that made it from scratch that everybody's gonna like, bro.
you're right.
Facts, because
You're right.
somebody salty about their record deal. Somebody salty about something that happened. You got the biddies and they didn't. They
You're
thought
right.
they had the mouthpiece. It's always something, bro. I'm
But
thinking
see,
Diddy, especially with his personal life, that's his business, guys. I know y'all, a lot of people normies and they just want to meet one good girl and love on her and have her for the rest of their life. Diddy gonna live different. Kings live different. It's always been like that in Rome, right?
That's
right.
right.
Romans be chilling, just going about their business, and they be up in the
Facts.
palace, Noro, and all the emperors having all these
I
orders
remember
and
Nero,
then
yeah.
doing all this nonsense. And then they be
Facts.
writing it on the Roman walls like they doing this, they doing this. And then I'm gonna air the normies out. They be doing the same thing. Your wife be pulling up to the
Yep.
mandingos and getting her cheeks clapped. So let's stop playing like as if he's the only one up on the hill buck wilding when we know most of you married men out here subscribe to freaking OnlyFans. So at
That's
the
a
end of
fact.
the day, Diddy ain't doing nothing that nobody else is doing. Get out that man's bedroom and get in your own life and change it. God damn it.
That's a fact.
You know, I think
Drop
one
another one of
thing you
Clues Bombs,
mentioned
man.
was
That's two
something
Clues
about
Bombs
the
so far.
workers around
I need
Diddy.
some sound effects, bro.
I think the workers that you said around Diddy, like Gene Deal, those people, there was once a time when people like that were very loyal and they had jobs forever with that person. They
That's true.
considered that person a right-hand man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but now, because you look at somebody like Diddy, he's rotated several security people. It may be for a clash of personalities or something like that. So those people, in essence, don't really they feel a loyalty to him. Like, I don't feel loyal to Diddy. I went and asked Diddy, like Roger Bonds, for example. Roger Bonds said, I asked Diddy for a loan for $20,000 and he refused to give it to me. So I don't feel any loyalty to him. You know, he's a billionaire. But like I said, at one time in America, you look at even JFK, for example, everybody around him was loyal. Nobody ever said anything about the women coming in and out of the back door till after he passed away.
I'm up here
That's
searching
facts.
why did he get fired? Because he got fired for a reason.
No, I think
And
Gene was never really fired. I think Gene has always been he's always been an employee of the state. He was a correctional or probational guard. So he never like stopped doing security work. He just got away from Diddy's security work. And
Okay,
then
he
I
was
think
like a
several
part time.
murders.
He wasn't
Didn't
like
several
full
murders
time.
happen too? Because didn't like a
Okay.
guy named Wolf get murdered, and like different people kept getting bumped off. So, you know, all of us, you may have to look at it and be like, man, I need to separate myself from this. Biggie just got killed. His man Wolf got killed. You know, people are getting deaded around Diddy.
Man, that's just that lifestyle, man. That shit. Look how many rappers have died since, you know. I mean, it's just that it's just the rap music, the industry, man. The energy that's been brought upon it when it become violent and the gangsters took it over, all the gangster music. It's violent, man.
I tell you what, though, one thing I would say about Diddy, and I think I did a stream about it when this first came out. I was like, instead of talking about that, I just spoke about his accomplishments. And I'm talking about not only in business, but also investing as an investor. It's ridiculous. Like the things that Diddy have done is amazing, especially like getting the sauce. How did you get the information? That was before YouTube. So Diddy was out here getting the information prior to YouTube and
Had
the
boots on the
internet.
ground. That's the
And
reason
he
why
was, yeah, but he was a hard worker, you know, and where he
exactly.
started, and not only from where he started, man. A lot of people just start and grow and then just have that stall out point. But you know, at a point where you did revolt, like you were doing joint punch venture deals with Tom, what is it called? Comcast. Like that's ridiculous. Like he's done amazing things, especially what he did with Ciroc. And so he was able to negotiate his way into a particular deal when he came in and
Yeah, what he
added
did with
value.
Sean John was crazy.
Yeah.
Sean
Sean
John
John.
too. So it was like fashion, beverages, music, media, internet, like tech, like Jesus, like P. Diddy was really on one. No wonder why he was living his lifestyle and living them life. Like
Yeah.
when you do those and make those accomplishments, oh man, it's
Well, see,
amazing.
I will say this. This is what I will say, right? Because I am a founder, you guys know I've done multiple businesses. I did a restaurant, the DR, I did my cigar line, online course coaching, several Airbnbs. I'm actually thinking about doing one out here in Thailand and documenting it and creating a course. See, this is the thing. It is a drug, right? Success within itself is a drug. Living that lifestyle, having what they call FU money, having that feeling that where you can tell a 21-year-old model, if you don't do what I say, you got to leave. That's a drug within itself. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like living this lifestyle and having lived it for such a long time, it is addictive when it's in itself. So what happens is that your dopamine levels do kind of get turned up a notch to where now it's even more and it's even more. And that's why he says that stuff like can't stop, won't stop, and keep grinding, because that's kind of what happens. It's always like the next thing. Like I say it jokingly to my inner circle, like I feel like I'm retarded sometimes because I'm living in these exotic places and I should be enjoying them more. But my mind a lot of times is on what's my next venture. What's the next thing I
Facts.
do? So BMT, we talked about that a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when, so that being said, when you have that level of success and you knock it out the park like Diddy did, you know what I'm saying? You want to go, okay, what's the next thing I'm ready to knock out the park? Sometimes it's sometimes you get addicted to winning or you get addicted to overcoming. And so that being said, that's one of the reasons why he has been so successful, in my opinion, and the reason why I look at it as such a shame that they're trying to say everything he did is now worth nothing because of these little small petty things. And that's the thing that's so like both of the like the reality of the situation is both things that we know for a fact he's guilty of are misdemeanors. Domestic violence and solicitation are both misdemeanors, but then they're trying to make it something more racketeering to when now it's a federal offense. It all goes back to what you said, not high value man, but high value target, because in the United States of America, we know that in the Fifth Amendment, it states that once a black man is now a felon, he now is instantly a slave again to the system. And that's one of the things that's why if you look at when you look at crimes that white men commit versus crimes that black men commit, they always make it a federal offense more times than they do a white
And
man, because once you become a felon, you now become a ward of the state, and now you're technically considered a slave again.
well, I think also too. I mean, a lot of you guys like to bring up the race part, but I would like to, yeah, guys, just understand that everybody can get that work, especially by black women out there linked and fist with white women. And so net at the end of the day, interests are aligned. They're moving straight forward for the kill.
So
And
I
so
hear
at
what
the
you're
end
saying,
of the
but
day,
why hasn't Ashton Kutcher? Not Ashton Kutcher? What's my man that only dates 21-year-old and under? What's his name?
DiCaprio.
Leonardo
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio, big homie,
Why Leonardo
the big
DiCaprio
homie.
don't have no trafficking charges? Because he fly all these 21, 22-year-old corn-fed Alabama chicks out to where he's from in California. If that's the
As of
case,
now,
I don't know.
as of
What
now.
we understand is that Leo has girlfriends, and that when they reach a certain age, he lets them go.
yeah, Cassie was a girlfriend that he let go because she cheated.
Yeah, but I'm pretty. But come on,
It's
you got
not
to be
Cassie.
smart.
It's still
If you've seen a YouTube video of that domestic violence between one of those girls and Leonardo, you think he'll be above the law? You think he'll be held accountable?
And didn't he get caught for drunk driving and they let him walk out?
Drunk driving, and then
I think that
compared
was
to what
Justin
Diddy had
Timberlake,
on the
right?
CCTV.
They're both a misdemeanor.
Yeah, but
Domestic violence is
come
a
on, we know
misdemeanor,
how.
sir. It's a
No,
misdemeanor. I know it looked
I
bad,
get
but
it.
guess what? The law states it's a
But
misdemeanor.
guess what? I know what you're saying about the law, but guess what? There's a thing called human behavior in society and how they're going to act towards
Because
both
he's a
crimes.
black man, they want to vilify it and make it. You
No, I
make it
mean
seem
it's
like
the
it's
same
worse. Than
thing.
guess
It's going
what?
to be.
White men been
Go
hitting
ahead.
white women upside the head their whole life. That's what they
So
call
you're
wife
saying if
beater.
it came out,
That's
you
where they
saying if
came
it
up with the
came,
term wife
okay.
beater, the T-shirt.
I'm just asking,
When
bro.
you look at the show, they had a show called Cops, and the show called Cops used to have these drunk white men that were in these tank tops. So much so to the point that they called us. They made it called a wife beater. Is the term. White
Mhm,
men have been hitting white women upside the head their whole entire life. They do not go to jail
mhm.
for the rest of their life. It's a misdemeanor crime.
Hey, Edin
Most of the
Cole,
time, 48 months.
I
So
think that one
wait,
of
hold
the
on.
things
If
we have to
Leonardo
always
had that, he
remember
would not go to jail.
What I'm
that
saying is that no, yeah, he not for the rest of his life. No, I seriously doubt that if Leonardo DiCaprio got caught hitting one of these white women upside the head, they're not going to try to say that he's sex trafficking, racketeering, take away all of his money, take away his key to the city, take away all these things. I seriously think that they're going to say, oh well, let's just put him in rehab, and let's just go ahead and just let's scoop it under the rug. But
but
because
Edin,
he's a black man, because Diddy's a black man, they're making it more than what it is.
Edin, I think one of the things we have to remember, and it's unfortunate in this situation, is that we're in the same year that video came out, and that's why it's resonating in everybody's mind. Is that okay? We just watched him assault Cassie. All right, now we just watched some white kid get off one of his private jets with a bunch of drugs and stuff and get busted by the feds. We just watched his house, 3 of his houses get raided, and now we're watching him go to jail, or be booked in jail. And if that video of him and Cassie would have came out 5 years ago, we wouldn't have thought twice about it now. But because it's all coming out in the same year, man, unfortunately, we all know as black men, we live in a system where they'll pile on to you. And that's what's going on. The media is piling on to him with all of these events that happen.
I can't remember if it was Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo DiCaprio, or was it Justin Timberlake?
Timberlake just got DUI.
That's what it was. Justin Timberlake. That's who it was.
Yeah, Timberlake just got a DUI.
Which is another misdemeanor. But that's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. Like it's like so that's the reason why I'm saying this is because you can look at what do they call cruel and unusual punishment. When you look at the situation is cruel and unusual punishment to try to say that this is trafficking when it's clearly a misdemeanor. Yeah, he beat her and he did a bad thing. He kicked her and he drugged her by the collar. And guess what? He should get 48 months in jail and a fine, not in the jail for the rest of his life.
That's not
But
what he's. That's
but
not what he's
homie,
going
most
to jail
people are
for.
not going to say.
We keep bringing that
Most,
point up.
go
That's
ahead.
not what he's going to jail for. That's
That's what I'm telling you. They're trumping up the charges is what they're doing. Exactly. He's matter of fact, he's not been found guilty of anything, but they are accusing him of trafficking. They're accusing this man of trafficking his girlfriend that he's been in a relationship with for a long amount of time.
Not
They're
just
He ain't
her,
the
not
first
just
one
her
now.
alone. It's sex trafficking, it's racketeering, and transportation of prostitutes. So you got 3 charges there. Now, yeah, I'm going to give you.
But we're talking about what we saw. But
say,
what you said is what we saw that we know that he's guilty of. He's guilty of 2 things that we know of. We know for a fact he's guilty of domestic violence, and we know for a fact that he's guilty of soliciting prostitution. Those are only 2 things that we know for a fact he's guilty of, and both of these are misdemeanors.
And you know one other thing he did. You know one other thing somebody said, and I'm when I say somebody, this person confirmed this happened. One racketeering includes arson. So one of the stories was that Kid Cudi's car got blown up, by Diddy.
Yeah, but there's no
Yeah.
evidence to that. There's no evidence to that.
Cuddy said
Yeah,
that,
that's true.
and also what's it called? It said
Yeah,
that.
but just because somebody said it don't make it true. Santa Claus ain't coming down my chimney on the 25th of December, but people say it all the time. You need evidence, and that's the problem that I'm having. You're making it seem as if there's facts. There's not facts. It's rumor and conjecture. If it wasn't for Johnny Depp recording that crazy woman taking a crap in his bed, Johnny Depp would have went to jail because it's believe all women. No, stop believing these lying ass women. That's what
They're
I'm
gonna
saying.
keep doing it. Yeah,
All
but
right.
you
Stop
keep saying that,
believing,
but people
stop
gonna
believing
keep
these
doing it.
lying women as
Yeah.
if they don't lie. They lie. Women cheat more than
Nope.
men cheat.
Nope.
Women
They're not gonna
lie.
believe it.
Women
They're not
lie.
gonna
Men
believe it.
lie. Numbers don't lie. And the thing about it is, when you look
You
at the
can, yeah.
ramifications of the lies, this man is in a jail cell right now, the size of the average person's master bathroom.
Nobody
Right
cares.
now, because of a rumor. You're saying that there's a rumor on the internet that he blew up somebody's car. Kid Cudi, the wannabe gangster, done did everything to 50 men, who's this famous person. Famous people have stalkers. Famous people are in front of millions and millions of people. So millions and millions of people who have this crazy ideology could probably have done this, but they're saying because of rumor, and the reality is because Cassie did have sex with this man, the rumor is sticking, but because of her looseness is the reason why they're saying that the rumor is true, but there's no evidence to it. It's just a rumor. You cannot vilify a man for rumors.
It's not a rumor if Kid Cudi's saying it, if Cassie's
Did he
saying it,
see it
and
though?
if Roger
What is the
Bonds,
evidence of?
have you watched Roger Bonds interviews?
What
Have
I'm
you watched
saying
any-
is there is not any fingerprints, any DNA. There's no video saying that he did it. I don't
brother, this
care.
was at a different time. There
Donald
wasn't
Trump
that
just
many
said that
videos back then.
Donald Trump just said that people are eating cats. The president, the assumed president of the United States of America, just said that Haitians are eating cats with zero evidence. And these white people went crazy and act as if it's true. What is the evidence behind it? I don't care what people say. I want to know what you see. And if there's no evidence,
So,
there is. So you mean to tell me that if
brother,
this man got a
let me say
Lamborghini, he
this.
does?
Let me say
Hold on
this.
for a
Then.
second. You mean to tell me
If
if this man has a
somebody
Lamborghini?
sees
Hold on,
it,
wait.
if somebody sees it,
Like
there's no
BMC
video,
says,
you don't believe it. That's
I
what
want to
you're
see the
saying.
CC. No, what I'm saying is I need because you're trying to vilify me for this. You
If
need
a
to give me
person,
proof and evidence.
if
If
people come
you are a
to,
No, they
millionaire, why
don't.
don't you have CCTV and let me see the
if
surveillance cameras?
if people come before an audience like their government, that's because that's what's happening. The people of that Springfield came before the town hall and said, "This is what's happening." I don't have any video evidence of it, but these are eyewitnesses saying this happened. But what you're trying to say now is that if there's no video evidence, it doesn't exist.
When we're
So
talking about
you're
somebody
just
going to jail for racketeering, I'm talking
no, you're
about some.
dismissing the eyewitness. There's an eyewitness to this. There's somebody who said that this is what happened. This is what he told me.
Yeah, preponderance of evidence. Yeah.
There's not what they said is that he did it, but they did not say I physically saw Diddy do it. Because one, you're not gonna see let's be honest. One, Diddy ain't gonna put no bomb underneath nobody's
Yeah,
car.
he
He's gonna
did.
send somebody's cousin to do it. So that's the reality. So first, you got to prove. First, you got to find a person that he paid to do the person that he paid. And it's not what you know; it's what you can prove. The number one thing that a defense attorney is going to tell you is not what you know; it's what you can prove. And if
I
you
agree.
can't prove it, you cannot
No,
prove it. That means it's
I
not a fact.
I don't agree when
Yeah,
it comes to women making allegations. You don't need to prove shit.
exactly.
So there you go. You lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, y'all guys got to wake up, man. Y'all better wake up quick. I know the way you say it woulda, coulda, shoulda, and should be because according to the law and what's needed, but that's not how it works out, man. That's just not how it works. That's not the reality. I'm gonna interpret the reality and move from that point because
See,
that's the
this
real
is
construct.
so. So, my brother, this is something that I really want you to understand. What you are saying is that Diddy's Sean John is illegal. So there is there's been a lot of times in my life where I've been like the only black person in the room. There's been a lot of times where I've been in banking and finance, I've been in tech sales, I've been in corporate America for a very long time. And as you can see, I'm an unapologetic black man. And I'm not just a regular black man, I'm a big black man. Most people don't realize it, but I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. I'm a big black man. So I'm very intimidating most of the time in person. And there's a lot of times where in these spaces and in these rooms, they assume that I did something wrong, illegal, or cheated to get into these rooms, right? I said all of that for a reason. The reason why I say that is because what they're saying is that Ciroc, Sean John, De Leon, Bad Boy Entertainment are all criminal enterprises to make money. What they're saying is that his hard blood, sweat, and tears, the times that he made beats, the time that he created clothing lines, the time that he put in fashion shows, the time that he did wine sampling, the time that he actually sent investigators down to Mexico to figure out if there was agave for De Leon, was all for nothing. Because the definition of racketeering is a pattern of illegal activities that are continued out by a criminal enterprise to make money. So what they're trying to do is, when you say that he's guilty of racketeering, that means, that's the reason why I get so upset with this, is because all of Diddy's parties were always free. And his quote unquote freak offs were his own personal pleasure. He did not do that to make money. But when he became a entrepreneurial genius, he did do that to make money. And that's why I take such an offense to it, because when we have to work harder than them, have to work longer than him, longer than them, and when we have to do everything in our power to be the best that we can be so that white men can see that we are on the same level, when reality, a lot of times we're superior to them, you're trying to say everything that we do is for nothing, and you had to do it illegally in order to get it. That's what racketeering is. And that's why I take such offense to it, because what you're trying to say is every single thing this man did to make himself a billionaire, he had to do it illegally. That's what that racketeering charge is saying.
Yeah.
Just because he bisexual, or he gay or whatever, or he liked to watch his girlfriend have sex with other men, does not mean that everything that he did was illegal, and he did it to make money was illegal.
I think also they're going to make that position, and they're, of course, the opposition, so they're going to make that position. It's up to Diddy to defend himself, which he will. He'll purchase his lawyers and defend himself. But it's quite funny because all this originated from coochie and sex. So you guys need to find out where your weakness is and freaking fortify those weaknesses. So that's always been the story. Men have always fallen due to their sexual desires and appetites. So maybe it's something for you guys to freaking learn at that end of the day. As far as, everything else, like, oh man, got to prove myself in the white man. I don't know about all that. All I do know is
you ain't got to know about it, but guess what? The sky is blue. You ain't got to know that it's blue to make it blue.
Yeah, that's your perspective,
corporate
my brother.
America,
You can have your perspective.
No, it's a fact.
I'm not the top 1%. I'm not trying to prove nothing to no white man. So I don't know nothing about that. I outperform
because you don't work in corporate America.
So I'm not worried about it. Exactly.
Because you don't work in corporate America.
And I did at one point, and
then you got out of it. So now you're top 1% because you're investments. But guess what? In corporate America, you have to compete.
But at the end of the day,
you have to compete.
Course, everybody has to compete everywhere across the world. So that's nothing new.
And that's what we're talking about, because he's still in the business world. Because he's in the business world, we can't just wipe it away as if it doesn't exist, because it does. And like what you said, when you're in the United States of America, you become a high-value target instead of a high-value man. They don't see you as a successful black man. They see you as a black man.
What? Okay, but at the end of the day, guys, look, that's across the world. You got to deal with things, and you just got to combat them. You got to stay frosty. So I don't know. It's just life. Struggles, conflict. There's warfare everywhere. It's all different types of levels, and it happens to everybody. It's nothing.
Man, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
Frosty.
It happens to everybody, man.
Stay frosty.
And also, too, go ahead, BMT.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping everything up, man. We've been at it for a little minute. This is just supposed to be a little test run, but great show though, man.
Good conversation, fellas.
Yeah, good dialogue.
Yeah, E.D. Cole, it was a pleasure to talk to you, man. I'm glad.
Nice talking to you as well, man.
Brother. Yeah.
I appreciate pleasure as well. And I want to say, guys, if I came across offensive, I apologize, because I'm offended by this, because I see myself in Diddy. Like, there's certain things that he said that helps motivate me to get off my butt to make some of myself. Like one of the ice cold quotes I ever heard him say is, "You can drop me in the middle of the woods with a toothpick." He said, "I'm gonna come out 30 days later, 10 pounds heavier, wearing a fur coat, because he's gonna be a survivor." And that's one of the things that when it comes to making some of yourself, I really see him as one of my heroes. Like, I really, really do. So I'm taking it personal. And so if I said something offensive, I apologize. I don't want to come across as if I am better than anybody else. And I apologize if I ever disrespected anybody. I just wanted to speak truth to power. And I appreciate the platform for you allowing us to do it, BMT.
Yeah, not at all, brother.
Sure,
I mean, we all men here, and as men, you need to have some thick skin. That's just what it is. We need to talk.
And then
like
also
men.
agree to disagree, which is completely fine. But Diddy said all that, but we'll see. He's going through the fire right now. Let's see if he comes out with that chinchilla.
Yeah, I do have a prediction.
Talk that shit when everything is peaceful, but I'm talking about warfare when you get hit in the face. So this is what warfare is. You should have stayed frosty. So let me not get critical in his analysis of P. Diddy and his own actions. You talking about Freaknik, and you got to be smarter than that. You
I do
talking about
believe,
Chinchilla. It ain't peaceful like that. You got to be smart.
yeah, I do believe that they're gonna give him a I think they're gonna let him sit for 30 days, maybe 60 days, and then eventually they are gonna give him a bond. I do believe that. I think they just want to feel like they have to punish him, and that's one of. I just feel like they want to feel like they got to punish him, and eventually he will get a bond. They're trying to buck break him. That's what I believe.
Right.
Because everybody, the thing that they're saying, he's so arrogant, he's so cocky. That's not a crime. You goddamn right, I'm arrogant, I'm cocky. I came from nothing. I made myself a billionaire. Of course, I'm that nigga. I'm him. Of course, I'm gonna walk around like I'm better because I am. Because I could have been something worse, but I chose not to be. So let me enjoy the fruits of my labor. Yes, I feel good. Yes, I could call up any chick I want to. And guess what? When you got a 32-year-old Cassie that won't, you got a hot 22-year-old young Miami that said, "Baby, pee on me."
All right, man. It's time to go.
All
All
right,
right.
fellas.
Salute,
Good stuff,
PMT.
fellas.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Peace.